Well, like I said, I'm fucking great.
Joe is a schoolboy bitch.
You're a schoolboy bitch.
I'm sensing a little tension between the podcast and the LAFC Tigers.
Don't
Is
you
it?
dare. God damn it.
You're
Don't
gonna
you
start
In
dare.
fact, Joe started off our conversation by asking us, what do you think is more important? Honesty or loyalty?
God, okay.
I'm both, so fuck you guys.
Joe is like, I'm loyal to you guys, but if I,
I
have
gotta
to
be honest.
honest,
They're a lot more fun. No, I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
see where this is going. Okay, well,
Welcome welcome all to episode 18 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Philly Fanatic, Filthy Animal, Filthy Insane. In the membrane, we got...
I wish we could have videotaped that. Keenan just kicked off the beatbox.
C-section.
But you should have seen, we have pictures too where Keenan was holding the mic and he had his iPad and he was making beats with the headphones. Keenan is coming up for the music game.
He's so corny.
Any producers out there,
But
Timberland,
he's
that's right, he's coming for
best
you.
friend.
Keenan, what kind of producers you want to go out there and throw the challenge to step up to your level?
Oh, they're all shit. They can't handle my heat.
That's right.
So-
Ooh, he got that fire.
I don't know if you guys know
Straight
this, but
fire.
Keenan's been developing a music festival. He's also started sort of a record label with, he's got his artists
As
that
a
he
matter,
signed.
yeah, and just got.
Oh, you
back-
signed him? That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I
Go
own
ahead.
all of you.
Go ahead, girlfriend.
you're all
See-
part of my property.
You don't
When-
know me.
When Keenan asked us to
created
give
you.
him all our songs, what he was doing was he was buying all the masters.
Yo, he
I'm-
was publishing them.
Yeah, I'm sneaky.
That
That's
son
how I
of a
do it.
bitch.
His evil plan, I've been waiting for a while to put him on blast on air.
Oh, really?
I had to
Is
understand his evil plan.
this what you use a podcast for?
You've been plotting against us this whole time.
Fuck.
He's gonna pull a Michael
"They have
Jackson
all-"
on us.
He's like, they have all the talent, but I have the business chops.
Oh man.
I'm gonna take them.
That's why
all.
he's having meetings with Kenny G, bro. They're buying our catalogs.
You son of a bitch.
We can't mention anybody that I know on this podcast just yet.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Allegedly.
He's,
Allegedly.
I met the Black Ranger, so fuck you.
Oh my God. Let's not talk about the time I invited Walter Jones to kick it with us on your birthday, and you guys all turned around like
Look, man.
I was
okay.
there for that. I could have swore I would have
You
said,
were.
"Hey, I like your work." Or
at
maybe
the
I just
Echo.
Yeah, it was at the
Wow.
Echo. It was at Dub.
Remember
Dub Club.
Anamanaguchi at the Echo? That was
Of course
a
I
good show.
remember.
That was a good, and we never came back. to
Hey,
it.
so
I
Walter-
remember when I got invited to that. Yeah, that
I
was
think
fun.
you were in New York at the time.
Yeah, you were
mister.
actually. You were living in New York.
That's okay.
You're out living a life.
I'm not one of those people who's like, thanks for the invite.
Some
we know
people
who
are.
those are. I am not.
Yeah,
well,
you are.
sometimes. But if I'm not invited, I create my own shit.
You do.
As you guys know.
That's what you said to
Which
the,
I
to
did
the
last
you
music
night.
never
business.
you never have a shortage of things to do. Like you can always find something.
Or
And that's-
dick.
It's
It
all
seems like you never have a shortage of dick or things to do.
Well, when that becomes
Whoa.
short, depending on the
Yeah.
cold.
that came out wrong.
damn
Oh,
it,
God.
Did it?
I'm trying to
Keenan,
get
don't
through.
back that ass up into people you don't know like that.
I'm God to you too. So
Oh, wow.
Fuck you. I'm my own God. I am God.
okay. Technically, you are. I mean, according to a lot of that historical religious stuff, guides and everybody and all that.
The
crap.
self god.
Yeah. I mean,
That's right.
but
And if everybody has the self god and they're all pulling on the concept of self, then maybe the self is God,
I think-
reincarnate at the most minute level.
I think
I'm
we
sorry, Phil. I was thinking
misunderstood.
she farted right now.
I would.
That'd been hilarious.
I'm when Kanye said that. When Kanye said, "God damn it, Keenan." When Kanye, are you high?
No, I just thought it'd be fucking hilarious because he's being so quiet.
Jesus,
Just let out a big.
what is going on with you, man?
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
ladies and gentlemen. Keenan is definitely on one.
welcome one, welcome
We're
all.
just gonna let's double back here.
You guys are.
When Kanye
Big.
said he was a god, I think a lot of people misunderstood him. I get it now, but I'm still not fucking with Kanye.
Anyway, you said he was God or the
yeah,
God or
that,
a
he
God.
said,
or-
I am a god.
I mean, isn't all of us? A
Yeah, we're all
God?
gods.
Yeah, we can create, we can destroy.
I am the master of my own universe.
I don't want you talking about Jesus Christ like
I don't
that
want
in any
yo,
way.
Yo,
lie.
Now that is my Lord and my Savior, and I say this.
Why you have to say it in a southern accent?
Well, because it just
Huh?
seems to come across more rude.
It does, doesn't it?
So
And
you
if you
say
don't
it's
believe in
southern
my
people-
God, you're going to hell.
Because
God
if
damn
I
it.
said it in an English accent, that is my Savior, my Lord, and my Christ, but also the Queen. God
That's
save the
It
Queen.
does sound better that way.
You could say
Thank you,
anything in
British
that
people.
accent,
Thank
and you could
British
get away
people.
with it, including
Thank you
let
for
us enslave
colonizing.
you and tax you for all your money.
Well,
I mean,
hold
no,
on
like,
now,
wait a
hold
minute.
on.
Whoa, whoa,
Not everything
Let's
sounds
watch
so
the
nice
S
in a
word
British
there.
accent.
Who are the original colonizers? The religions or the
Slavery.
state?
Religion. No, shoot. Wait, the
What,
state?
wasn't it religion?
I would say religion.
I would
because-
say
I'm going to be
because
honest with
We
you.
have to go back to like.
I don't know enough about history to say that, but that's an important question. Who were the original colonizers? Because if they're not known,
Well,
Well, I mean, colonizers in the sense of that, it'd be whoever, whatever civilization spreads out and settles in different places. It's kind of colonizing on a very polite scale, but if you were talking about like we're gonna go over and take over this, and this is gonna be our thing, I would say I'm pretty sure several tribes have been doing that prior to the Roman Empire, the Egyptian Empire.
you're saying at primitive levels.
Yeah.
I'd like to say because if you're trying to find
yeah,
the
if
first
we're talking about
colonizers,
original
Yeah,
colonizers,
we're
I don't
talking
think
about
it had anything
caveman
to do with
shit.
The
religion.
Yeah.
first person who stepped up to the entire group of humanity
Is-
that they knew of
yeah,
and went, "Hey,
this is our shit.
this is mine."
Yeah, then it had nothing to do with religion.
I don't think.
I don't think it had anything to do with religion.
I think I think it comes to like who wanted property and land first,
Right.
and whoever created economics.
Right. To
Whoever
look
created
at someone
economics would be
else,
the first one,
to look at someone else and go, they can do the work for me.
because that came hand in hand. Yes,
if I have something that they find valuable, and I say, hey,
and like tribes, like like the first man kind of situation. You know that they grouped together and they started
yeah,
taking over other tribes, and I mean,
it was like we want that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go beat him on the head with a skull
Yeah.
and take it.
so
and
maybe
if they don't
religion
listen
did
to
come
us-
first.
Yeah.
but
Maybe
is
so-
that really religious?
So
oriented?
think about it, right? So they go over, they beat someone up, and they're like, I can't keep fighting because eventually someone might take me down. So how can I scare them into being submissive? Have you guys ever heard of God?
No, I'm gonna have to disagree. with
might
you.
have to
Because
disagree on that
it's
one, too.
because of him that I'm top dog.
That's for pussies who couldn't get laid. And
See, I can't get behind that
Right?
because, I guess once the idea came into fruition, then that story was starting to be told, and then it was written.
So people had to know about
yeah,
God before they
yeah,
could just.
exactly.
But they also didn't. I think it took a while for them to even come up with the concept of using religion as an advantage to take over someone else's settlement. I think religion came first, but it took a while for the bad apple to come in and go, "Hey, I can profit from this," and then that's probably where you get the idea of thinking that religion was started. But it's usually the one it's within the kind of thing. It's not
So
idea
religion, you
itself.
say,
I just
caught
don't feel-
on.
Yeah, I just don't feel colonizing had to do with
Anything with religion?
They
to
just
begin
used
with,
it as
no.
an excuse to get
I think
away with it.
eventually it became that, but I don't
Yeah.
think when
Like with
Exactly.
the Catholic Crusades and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
the
think it-
Inquisition
yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. And
You guys see Pete
Knights
Davidson
Temple?
compare R. Kelly to the Catholic Church
No shit. Oh, wait, was this
on
recently?
SNL skate? Yeah,
Ah,
he
the new
said,
one.
I know what everybody's thinking about with R. Kelly or anything, but like, how is that any different from the Catholic Church?
Yeah,
That's
pretty
true.
much.
They
It's
both have
absolutely
great
true.
music, but clearly one is better than the other.
And George Carlin did some good. I mean, he didn't compare
George Carlin
with
is the
with R.
fucking
Kelly
man.
because R. Kelly wasn't around at the time, but he did talk a lot about the crazy fucked up stuff they do in the Catholic
Isn't
Church.
that nuts that the Catholic Church has the authority to say, we don't want to prosecute against
Yeah.
these guys. We know they're
Yeah.
being fucking little kids, but let's let them slide. We'll move them to a different
for
church. Like,
decades?
like what the fuck? And the cops are like, well, I mean, the church said it's cool, so
Yeah,
fuck it.
That's the crazy.
Like,
thing.
what the fuck?
Fucking religion, man.
It's amazing how much power the
Yeah, when you-
church has to be like, nah, we're not gonna do anything about it. It's cool.
They
Hey, they might
government
smite us
status-
down right
Yeah.
now.
But they threw fucking Galileo in jail, saying, "Hey, the solar system does not revolve around the planet." and it's and then
that's when they killed Galileo.
well, yeah, they just locked him up in prison. He died in there.
Yeah.
But not until what 2008 or 9 or something like that. Whenever this new pope came around that everybody liked and was all about it, finally
Not
turned.
Benedict, but the other dude, the new dude, right?
Yeah, he like turned around the rule book, saying, okay, now the Catholic Church approves of Galileo saying that everything revolves around the sun. And
So
not the earth.
Galileo's like, hey, what up, guys? Coming out of prison.
And Richard Dawkins was referring to something in that book, The God Delusion, where he says it's funny they disown science, but I bet you if science did find a way to prove that God exists, the first thing they would do is jump right behind science and use that scientific fact to prove God exists.
They had a lot of scientists and physicists in the church.
They do. The church does have a lot of scientists.
And they kept
Like
it
on the
for-
payroll, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
no, just in general. Like they
was
do have
thinking-
a science department.
Well, yeah, but more so, I'm talking about like more like ancient history where we had the Dark Ages, stuff like that. And usually, after the fall of the Roman Empire and everything was about exploration and astronomy and astrology and stuff like that. And the Catholic Church just took all that information, kept it secret, but still kept their scribes to learn reading and writing and stuff like that, which would lead to development of Freemasons and stuff. trying to
Right.
challenge that and
Yeah. The Knights
gain knowledge and
Templar.
stuff like that.
Yeah, the Knights Templar. That's the whole reason the secret societies existed, was to say what we're saying literally right now.
Yeah, learning
And
your
saying-
history. We
yeah.
should. Like,
and talking about like, so what do you really think about this God situation, or that the most powerful organizations in the world tout that avoid taxes while all of us as regular people do have to pay taxes? Simply, even believers of God are still subject to tax, but the church itself and the people who operate it are not.
no. Yeah.
Something is wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trippy that we're just talking about the Catholic Church, but there's so many other religions and stuff out there. It's crazy how the Catholic one became the most powerful one,
Right.
because you have other maybe not the most powerful, but the most on
Definitely
display.
one of the
Because
most
I
powerful,
think
mean.
what Muslims is the one that has the most people in it, right? It's Muslim or Buddhist. It's one of those two that have the
It's-
most. In
Yeah.
it. I want to say it's Muslim.
That have the most membership.
Like literally, they're everywhere.
Muslims or
Hindu, like-
Buddhists, you said?
Yeah, one of the two have like the.
While
the
they
most-
would argue on either side in favor of themselves, I do believe that the Muslim nation has more
I would say I think it's the Muslim.
more
nation.
membership than the Buddhist nation, unless we're in America. But if you're talking
about
about like in
worldwide.
China,
Worldwide.
worldwide, it might be
It
Buddhism,
might be Buddhism. Okay.
because it's
You gotta
Siddhartha's.
think by populace. You know?
Yeah, China and
So-
India and all that stuff.
Siddhartha is one of the most well-known
Mhm.
reincarnations of the Buddha as a story that's been handed down to everyone.
But
I
are
mean,
they
even
in-
Keanu Reeves played a movie, Siddhartha, where he was as the
Yeah,
before
yeah.
he even before he did Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure, I believe,
Mhm.
or shortly after, he moved and did that as a project.
Are they involved in a lot of
Siddhartha,
this
it's an
stuff
old
as
school
well?
movie. Who?
Like the kids and the messed up.
Oh, like are there
hypocriticism, like,
are there
Because we're mostly
pedophiles
Yeah,
in
we're
Buddhism?
mostly talking about Catholic and Christian.
I'm sure
But what-
there are. I mean,
There,
like,
there are bad people
you
all
know,
over the world.
yeah,
True.
yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, like, are there Mormons? who
What they believe,
mess
I
with
don't
kids?
think the beliefs have anything to do with it. I will say that.
Okay.
But I will say that I don't think beliefs have anything to do with it, other than the belief that they think they can infringe themselves upon anyone else.
And that's my excuse.
That's the only
for-
belief that is not okay, is to think that you can do something to someone else against their will.
And that's my
regardless of what
reasoning
you
for
believe.
The beginning
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
about colonization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Because at some point somebody was like, "Yeah, I will do something to you,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not."
And I that's probably the moment we should take a
And they were
time
like,
machine
okay.
and find out.
Yeah, and everybody
like
was
I
like,
said-
"Okay."
Yeah.
Can you imagine the amount of power this guy probably, or this woman,
Group of
we don't
people?
know how far back this goes,
Yeah.
thought to themselves, "Hey, all of you, I'm stronger than you, and if you don't listen to what I say, I'll fuck you all up." And they were like, "Ooh, okay,
And then
okay."
The nerdy guy comes out of nowhere and goes, "Hey, I have this book you should read."
they're like
I-
off with his head.
And I'm sure it went something along the lines of,
And we
Could
spoke,
you
we
imagine?
spoke about that. Like,
And that's
do
what
they
I'm saying.
really talk
That,
like that?
I don't know. Maybe they probably spoke with grunts. I mean, if you look at
I speak with
Uh,
grunts all the time, especially.
During
in
certain
the
moments,
Wait,
bedroom,
Oh, I meant especially when I make toast.
Oh,
You know, throw the butter on. You like,
well then.
So I think that's code for
Goodness.
sex.
Yeah,
Toast?
yeah, it's got
Hey, that would make a
honey,
great
you wanna make
song.
some toast?
That would make a great song. Be like.
Let's make some toast. Let's make some toast. Let's make some toast. I want your toast. I want some toast. I want your toast. I want some toast.
Bono,
With butter.
bono, 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 bono.
I wanna rub the butter, put it on the crust. I wanna touch it, I must. Put the shit in my mouth when it's toasty. Get close to me.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That
Toast.
was a toast
I want your toast.
by the None of Our Business podcast.
Yes.
Copyright 2019. Own the Rhythm Publishing.
Hey. Hey guys, so today is
So,
March
yes.
10th.
Hey, happy
it is
birthday.
Mario Day.
Oh, Mario Day.
Birthday.
I don't know. When is your birthday, Joe?
It's not. It's a
April
month from
10.
today. It's a month from today.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I
one
should write
month.
But
that
who's
down.
counting? You know, it's just the month
Who's
of today.
counting?
But who's
It's
counting?
not
Nobody
months today.
cares.
Today.
I don't
You
care about
always
my
get to-
birthday.
That's
Hey,
right. 'cause
you guys don't want to show up? It's cool.
We're doing an event.
Yeah, April 6th.
Yeah.
At the Canby.
Can be in Reseda.
Gotcha.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
But Joe has a birthday
April
week that week, so it's gonna be busy.
Nah, man, I'm gonna celebrate my birthday at the Canby. You know,
we gotta put him on stage.
nah, I can't do
Just
it,
sing
guys.
happy
you know,
birthday
like-
to you.
Keenan, why
Oh,
would
okay,
you?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, let's
And
do
then
that.
give him
Just-
a mic.
yeah, that's right.
I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared.
Pulls
Come
it
on,
right
dude.
out of his pocket.
Keenan's like, I'm just saying, you know, if nothing works out, there's a job in my firm waiting for you. You can always, you know, I don't want.
Oh, no,
Yo,
no,
alive.
You're alive.
It's gonna be.
Oh
a tagline.
man, you know what? Okay,
Okay, you're.
so
My bad.
Well,
You
no,
were
go ahead,
saying-
go
You
ahead.
were
What
saying
did you
something earlier because I cut you off.
uh,
I'm being polite to you.
No, just about March 10th being Mario Day, so it's Mario Day. MAR 10th, March 10th. Mario.
You guys get it, right?
1-0.
Yeah.
1-0. Yeah. Anyway, gamer.
We're
You
just
know, I
giving
thought
Joe-
this was a gaming
1-0.
podcast. You know, I thought this.
Is it? I thought it was
oh.
the None of Our Business
Hey.
podcast.
Hey, I want to see a vote of how many people are actually gamers who listen to the podcast. So if you hear this right
Zero.
now, either at the NOOB podcast on Instagram or any one of our accounts, right? Whether it's Keenan Duncan, Joe M. Castellanos, or me, Philip Lanos, whichever you guys want. Go ahead and slide in the DMs and just say I vote gamer. I want to
Hey.
know. I want to know how many gamers are really
Nice.
out there.
Yeah. I'd love
If
to-
you're a porn addict, then just put I porn addict.
I porn addict.
Or-
Keenan's gonna hit us all up like, hey.
Me
what's up?
too.
Me too.
Have you ever seen Boner
Me
Jam
too.
6?
You're laying
I'd
out
be
my
like,
files now.
sorry.
I'm not sure
Boner jams.
because I can't be at the moment of addictiveness because it's not like
Keenan's
I
like,
mean, yeah,
it's not a
organize my
problem
shit,
for
but
me, right?
come on.
I mean, if you're organizing your porn, Keenan, you have the time. You take the time from your day to organize your porn. Think about that. Think about that.
He even put colored labels on the folders digitally.
You could have been doing anything else.
That's not a real problem.
But you were sitting there. You probably had just nutted. You were like, "Oh fuck, okay, gotta organize these files."
No, let me just
just-
put this one's gonna go in the extra strong finish collection.
Yeah, once I nut really well, it's like okay, I know what folder to put that in.
He has. Oh, this is the redheaded slut folder. This is the 9-inch cock folder. All right.
the BBC
Tiny women. Yeah.
files.
This is tiny women getting fucked by BBCs. Okay,
Oh,
that one
God.
goes there. Blonde bombshells with big titties. That one goes there.
Oh man.
What are those called? Blonde bombshells. What?
BB
BBBB.
BBSBT. BBSBT. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
What was that?
You're
Right
welcome,
in the
Brazzers.
category. They welcome Brazzers. Oh, we should get Brazzers to be one of our sponsors.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait, did I just hear you guys give a porn website a shout out? That's the equivalent of me going, hey, 24-hour gym fitness. Thanks for giving me a 3-day pass.
I mean, I'm hoping I get those codes.
Oh,
You guys are
man.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh my
But,
Friends.
How many of us have them?
Ba-dum, ba-dum,
Oh, yeah, that was very similar. wasn't it?
ba-dum,
Toast.
ba-dum, ba-dum.
I want some toast. It's hilarious.
We got things to talk about today. Stop fucking around. We got
okay,
things to talk
Joe
about.
has some stuff, but I do have something to say too.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I mean, as far as topics, I got one.
Oh, you got
Already
one in the
dome.
chamber. Huh?
Always.
You got one in the
Always.
chamber.
Always.
In both heads.
No,
Top
you're,
and
you're,
bottom.
you're never
Oh,
supposed
God.
to.
damn it,
I
The
didn't
point
get- I
is,
didn't
you
get-
never go in with one in the chamber, guys. That's
Oh, that's right.
and you know you don't last as long.
How do I release the
No,
clip though?
I don't shoot blanks. I don't shoot blanks.
Because that would hurt.
How do I release the clip? There are a couple websites I could lead you to, buddy. I got you. Don't even worry about it.
Why? How do you ask? We're like, you never go in one of the chamber, guys. That's how you last long. And he's like, well, I want to release the clip. How do I release
just
the
wanna-
whole clip?
I want to go full blast, like
Oh, wait a
pom shells.
Wait a minute. You guys
Redheaded
missed
sluts.
The joke. Release the clip is like, when the clip drops out of the gun. I was like, so how do I take off my balls?
You mad? Oh, that's weird.
I know.
What?
It's like-
Yeah,
He's like, you meant like offload.
So he's like, come on, guys. Like, it'd be okay
I
if
was
I
talking
if
about
I
cutting my nuts off, guys. Come on. Did nobody pick up on that? Jesus.
That is not what I
He's
sound
like,
like,
he's
Joe.
like, so you
No,
guys
you
think
don't.
so you guys think it's a good idea, right? Like maybe I should.
You know, I was thinking,
I'm not saying I
don't
looked
need
into the
these balls.
prices.
You know,
Then there-
I got a
way-
couple consultations.
By the way, there is nothing wrong with doing that if you really feel you must.
a
What?
vasectomy?
There's nothing wrong.
Just any kind of
nothing wrong.
mutilation
I
to the
highly
body.
encourage it. Oh, wait. Any mutilation?
I don't know.
What?
Wait, what are
What
we
are you
talking
talking
about? Because
about?
when I think mutilation, I think like, nigga, I'm putting balls into my dick. I'm doing like,
Yeah, like corrective surgery, like they do with the dogs, which I find crazy. Like people breed dogs and then chop their balls off so
Yeah.
they don't
And
continue
then
to
for
reproduce.
the bulls, they take rubber bands and they wrap it around the testicles
Oh my god!
until it pinches the nerve so much that there's no blood flow.
No,
And it just falls right out.
it's the equivalent of like
fucked
who
up.
thinks this is okay?
The person that came up with that
how do
idea.
you know that?
And you know
Oh,
what's
It
crazy?
stuck to my brain when somebody told me. I was like, damn, I'm gonna remember this forever.
And you know
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
crazy
that's
is
true.
most of those people are likely have some kind of dietary restriction, and they're like, "That's my morals and my
When
values."
it first came up,
No, just in
No.
general.
What?
There are people who make strict diet choices and choose not to eat animals.
Oh,
or-
because of that.
no, and then they'll still own a pet who has to have their balls
they'll
clipped.
cut it. Yeah. We call
Isn't
those
that
hypocrites.
crazy?
Yeah.
We call those hypocrites.
That's that is totally true. And
But you know what? They may not even be aware of it. It might have just gone right over their heads.
Well, because they're in that zone. People, humans can have this crazy.
I mean, we're all hypocrites.
Pretty much. I mean,
Joe's just watching. He's just watching the video he took earlier of
I'm
him
trying-
zooming in on his
let's
balls.
trying to post it
let's
on
talk
IG,
about. Let's
man.
talk about. Let's talk
Let's
about,
talk about it, Ken.
LFSC.
No, I'm not looking.
LF
Okay, actually, all right. Well,
Well,
then
they're
if we're
your
gonna
better
go
friends
there,
than us. I mean, you hang out with them.
I wasn't even gonna go there, but all right.
Sorry,
Okay,
Sean.
so last week I went with our guest Sean Park. We went to an LAFC game right after the podcast. Let me tell you guys right now, it was one of the most amazing
It looked
event.
fun. Man.
It was one of the most amazing sporting events I had ever gone to in my life. And I've been to
Wow.
like baseball games, football games, basketball games. I've been to like, you say it, I've probably been to that game or a game, but going to this game was just a fucking amazing.
It was like doing coke, wasn't it?
I wouldn't know. I don't do coke. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
Excuse me, but
let me, because I recall Keenan really wanted to go, and like he didn't know he wasn't supposed to. Like he was supposed to pay the money up front.
Oh, sorry,
no,
Sean.
no,
Let's bring
there-
this up.
I think
We're gonna
there
bring
was
this
a-
up.
I think
We're
there was a
calling out
miscommunication.
Sean.
No, there was a miscommunication about that. Okay, so Sean's part of well, now me, I'm also part of this thing too.
His family.
Oh yeah, this happened yesterday. But okay, so we're part of this thing called the 3252, which is like all the super fans for the LAFC, which I happened to become one last week. Right?
He
Uh,
studied the history.
So
Looked at
so
the
the super
Wikipedia.
fans get their own they get their own place in the stadium, right? At Bank of California Stadium where the LAFC plays. So they get their own spot, their own stand which is right behind one of the goals, and it's reserved only for the super fans that are out there to cheer for LAFC.
Mm.
So within that, there are also clubs, like their own little groups within that.
Yeah.
So there's like the Expos, there's the what's the other one called?
And
There's
you'll
the
have a
Expos.
designated
Yeah,
area where you
yeah.
go and yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not a designated area because they share that whole spot,
Okay.
but each club, kind of already cemented
Gets
their
one.
little place within those stands.
Right.
So I joined the Tigers yesterday, which is what Sean was part of or
Mhm.
is part of. And basically these are just groups of people who are super fans that just basically make their own club for the team, and they just go support the team. So
So
I
about the
went in-
tickets.
yeah. So regarding the tickets, there's
That's
a
like
certain
Josh's
amount of
shit.
tickets allotted to those stands.
Mhm.
So, and then each group gets a certain amount of tickets reserved for them. So if you have to wait for an opening, or you have to you
I
have to
see,
reserve
yeah.
the opening to see if it opens up, and then if it does, you get the ticket.
Yeah, no hard feelings.
So
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't
good.
like he had to give the money first. He was just trying to.
Yeah.
He was basically on hold until an opening was
That's
I
so
available.
just
cool.
want us to start some shit today. That's
I
all.
know you did.
I know, and it might have worked out for the best because Joe is now a full blown Scientologist of this group.
Fuck you.
And I'm a free thinker. So
Fuck you. Anyway, so I joined the
Hey, Sean.
Tigers
What's up,
yesterday.
Wow.
I joined the Tigers
Welcome
yesterday.
back.
I was supposed to go to the tailgate, but some shit came up.
Hmm.
Wasn't able to do it. But I'm gonna give you a little audio clip of
Oh,
what
wow.
of what the tailgate
It
is.
looks so crazy when Joe posted this on Instagram. Like there was smoke and there's shit everywhere. and
Yeah, dude,
it
it's
was-
nuts.
It was
Like I
wild.
said, it's one of the most amazing sporting event experiences I've ever had in my life.
And
So-
you said Sean wrote this song?
yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
This is Sean's.
Oh. Oh my God. Hey.
It reminds me a lot of the drum circles.
It kind of is.
Exactly.
Now, is that a predominantly Asian group? Looks
No,
like it's
no.
not because the pictures looks like it's.
No,
No,
it's very
it's very
diverse. I
diverse.
mean,
Keenan was like, I noticed there wasn't any black people in there.
No,
Joe
it's
was
a
like the
very
only dark
diver-
one in there.
it's a very diverse group. Like,
Yeah,
and,
no, I'm
and
teasing.
it's a lot of the members are actually from K-Town, which is where I'm from.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Where they're Koreatown, so it just made sense to me. You know, I'm trying to get into a new. So I mean, I love basketball, and I wanted to get into like another sport. So just going to this event, I mean, their local team. They're
That's
literally
nice.
15 minutes from me.
Mm.
I should
You
tell
know-
my buddy Brad about it. My buddy Brad loves sports. Shout out to Brad.
What's up,
He-
Brad?
I think one of these days we should invite him on. He'd be really funny.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
But that he loves sports so much so that it doesn't make sense like not to introduce him to people
Mm.
like Ray
Okay. Yeah.
or this LAFC thing
Yeah.
because
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And again, like I was trying to get you guys to come to the tailgate just to get into it, you know,
He's trying to
feel
convert
the
us.
experience.
Told you
No, I'm not
Scientology,
necess-
man.
Well, you'd
That's how
have
you
to be
do it.
part of something to be converted. You
Oh,
fucking
fuck!
dick.
You are part of something.
No, you would have to be part of something to convert you, but you're not part of. You don't really like soccer, or you don't really.
he's
watch
basically
it.
saying you
don't-
could never convert to
I
this.
can't convert
Oh.
you because you're not even part of.
Well, you can be
Okay.
converted for not being part of
Keenan's
something.
like, what if I want to be converted, huh?
You'd have to be part of one thing to convert you to another.
What if you're part of nothing?
You guys are literally
How am I
arguing
converting you?
about
I'm
nothing the
introducing
same
you
at
to it.
all. You know what's really going on?
Friendship.
I think
We're
you guys-
measuring dicks
I
right
think
here.
you guys need to hug.
Who has the better argument?
And it's an argument founded on nothing other than friendship.
We just held hands, right?
I guess that's what you call
Oh my
crossing
God.
tips.
we held tips. We didn't
so
touch.
so
I
joined the
crossed
Tigers.
swords with you.
I joined the Tigers. They tailgate for every home game. Tailgating is free. You can just come out
yeah, that's
and
that's
enjoy. I mean,
barbecue.
Like, yeah,
food,
there's
drinks.
barbecue, there's drink, there's everything. Like,
Is that what you guys call it these days? Tailgating?
Yeah. I mean, what do you
Hey.
call it?
I don't call it anything. I'm
Sex
trying to
in
figure
the
out
ass.
what you're talking about.
Uh,
What?
Well, it's
Sex in
Keenan.
what? What?
He's like, wait, there's nothing. Look, balls chopping off, sex in the ass.
Okay,
Who's saying anything?
I might have had 3 of that stuff in this podcast right now, but there is one more, and then maybe we'll figure out what comes through my head later on.
It's like the movie The Interview with James Franco, and he's the host, and Eminem's on. He's like, I've basically been leaving a sprinkle trail of moments where I try to tell you that I'm gay, and he's like, wait, what? And then everybody in the producer room, Eminem just said he's gay. Oh my god!
Oh my
Eminem
god!
just said he's gay. And then it's like, and James Franco's like, so you're saying
Yeah, that was like in the
that you're
beginning,
gay? He's
right?
like, yeah, like I want cock in my mouth. Like,
Shout out to
So-
Eminem for doing the joke. like
Marshall
that on
fucking
yourself.
Mathers.
Yeah.
So
Did that thing ever get resolved? Did that
What?
thing ever get resolved? Yeah.
What happened?
And
With
that
Machine
Machine
Gun
Gun
Kelly?
Kelly?
Oh, that's some good back
I
and
don't think it
forth,
ever
but-
got
I figured you'd
resolved.
know if any.
No,
No.
I don't think it ever did. It's just,
Okay, so LAFC,
Continue.
people should join.
yeah,
It's a great
well,
thing.
I'm not saying everybody should join. I'm saying if you're with it, come out.
Mm.
Don't join. Don't join if you
You
don't
said,
want
matter of
to.
fact,
Obviously
don't
not.
join us.
No,
Come
I'm
out.
saying don't. You don't have to join. Like, but
Yeah.
if you want to be part of the experience, absolutely
It
come
definitely
out.
looks like fun.
It's worth at least coming out once, And that just that one time alone
Doing
was
a
enough
come
to
out
convince
joke,
me.
Philly? I can read your
Hey,
face.
yeah, he's about to get there. He
I
was about
can
to
literally
take it there.
read your face
I was-
of some sort of gay coming out of the closet joke.
No, I was just gonna say, just let us put the tip in,
Oh,
and then we'll talk about it.
Oh well. So, Dixon Clubs.
Dicks in clubs.
Dixon Clubs. My
Yeah, let's talk about Dicks in clubs.
my
Keenan.
Oh, what? Hey, I
You're
am
about to tell the story.
I'm a gentlemanly dick. Oh, my story. Yes. So my
Yeah.
story is, I went out last night. I hit up Philly and Joe, sporadic, to go to a place if we're cool promoting this place.
Yeah.
Parvu, Melrose and Gower, right across the street from Paramount
Por.
Studios. Parvu. Sorry, it's French.
You always call
Um,
it par.
Because I'm American. This is America.
American.
Los Feliz, bitch.
But even the way it's spelled is poor.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
Like, fuck you.
So I was
Alright,
at
sorry,
Parfume.
I was at Parfum. Parfum. Manly.
Man,
Man.
fucking fairy tale.
Oh, my God.
Man,
We
Um,
are
we're a friend of the
gaming,
anime community.
anime and pop culture podcast. Okay, continue.
So I was at this club, and and to make the long story short,
No, I want the long story.
long story, guys, this is gonna take up half the podcast.
Who cares? We don't have anything to talk about anyway.
Okay.
No, I kind of do though. But
Okay. So I wasn't expecting I was just going with my friends just to hang out, dance. It's a really great place to dance and just party with a group of people, or even by yourself. And that's what led
Right.
to this moment where my friends who I was with wanted me to dance with this girl that was right next to me. And I was about to. And I was going, but then I saw a guy come up to her and talk to her and then give her a drink, something like that. And he did it multiple times. So I didn't know who he was. And I didn't know the situation. And my friends were like, you should go do it anyway. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to get a black eye tonight, just for dancing with somebody. So they were like,
should have.
I should have. Well, the thing is, no, I'm a softie. So I'm not.
Go on.
But,
So you're saying that you talk a big game?
I do.
Hold
I
on,
talk
hold on.
mad game.
We'll get back to
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we will.
So-
You're right.
Okay,
You know
so
what, I'm
anyway,
sorry. Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't want to fight with this guy. And my friends were like, so what? He doesn't own her. And I was like, that doesn't matter because I'm still going to go home with some bruises and shit. So I'm going to respect the whole playing field.
you have preferences, sure.
Yeah. So the idea was that, but I kept in my zone with myself dancing, regardless of.
You stayed in the
somebody-
vibe.
Yeah. And so a lady noticed me dancing by myself
That's right.
and she pulled me away
That's right.
by my arm to meet
Mm.
up with her and her 3 girlfriends in the group. And I started dancing with them.
My
And
man.
it was a great moment, and I started dancing with her, and it was really, really awesome. And the awesome thing about it was that the way I was dancing was just, it was a lot of grinding, like mad grinding. I was doing a lot of pelvic thrusts that I was moving my
That's a good
shoulder-
move.
I
That's a
was
classic. That's a
Classy.
classic.
I was moving my
classy
shoulders
move.
so people can see that I was dancing, but
Right.
the lower half of my
He
body
said-
was just like
He said I was moving my shoulders so people could see I was dancing.
but not like having full on, sex in the club.
Okay.
So the crazy thing, and the question I bring this up to all of our listeners and especially ladies, is that I had the hugest erection that you can possibly imagine.
Baby, when we're grinding.
But he kept it in his pants.
It literally
Sort of, because the head was kind of poking out a little bit off the top of his pants.
It literally could have cut through my jeans.
He said, so I had this raging hard on.
a
thunderous cock.
A raging boner.
Yeah.
It was just the fiercest boner.
He said, I wasn't sure if it was going to stop growing.
I was like,
cut through steel.
I was so embarrassed. I can go out and jackhammer the concrete if I wanted to. It was rockiest, the hardest of the rockiest it could ever be.
Okay.
But
What'd you do with it?
that's what I'm saying.
What'd
So
you do with it?
I was
Let me tell the story.
Did you put it on it?
well, basically I did.
Was it everything I had ever dreamed of?
Well, the crazy thing was that what was going through my mind afterwards was like,
right.
and I had this moment too when I was in high school too. I was thinking, it's funny because I even asked my dad this question. I was like, do girls even like it if I'm dancing with them and I have the hugest hard on I can possibly imagine? And I'm trying to remember what his response was, but I think it was leaning towards something, I don't know, about like how if she's grinding up on you
Right.
and she's not saying anything, she's probably trying to get you to see if you can get her or something like that. I don't know.
That's why eye contact is so important.
But yeah, well, she wasn't faced. She was what? We're gonna lean around and look at her eye, like turn
You
her head
turn
around.
her around.
No.
Look at your
Yeah.
boner.
You-
look at
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Sorry. Finish your story and I'll explain. I'll say that
Okay, yeah.
later.
So the idea was, I just at some point in the night, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see how far I can take this dance. I can go. I was drinking, she was drinking. We're all drinking. We're having fun. We're all dancing great. I was doing a lot of crazy grinding before, but this time I was like, I really want to see how far I can take it. So I literally it was like nobody can see this in my hand
It's a
gesture.
jackhammer.
But I literally had my hand on her thighs, not on her groin or on her ass or anything like, but on her thighs. But I had a really good grip. My hands were sinking.
That's
my
another
fingers sinking.
classic.
Fingernails were digging in.
And then it was just like, like,
Do
like,
pops.
just like-
Pops
I
from the
just
Wayans
can't-
brothers.
Bang 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 bang. It was wild, and I was kind of looking around like I can't believe I wasn't. It made me embarrassed how far I was
He's
going.
like,
Like
no
I
one
was
is
being
stopping me.
Yeah,
It's like I'm being so silly right now.
I was like, oh my god. But the thing was, she was into it. She even leaned down and like pushed back,
Right. She
It
was
was- I
throwing
was
it
like-
back.
and I could have swore.
She was literally throwing the pussy at you.
Yeah, I could have swore I felt it like grinding up, like I even had I crunched down.
Kid, it was
to
like
get a-
Google.
It was so weird.
Pied Piper.
But that was a very
You
magical
just in
moment.
your pants a little bit, didn't you?
I'm not
Hey,
sure.
there are some men out there in the
Yeah.
world who have that as a real problem.
Well, I've been in a lot of lap dances, so I would have known if I could
Jizz
jizz
in my
from someone like
pants.
that I was doing. I definitely would have if it happened before, but it was just a crazy moment because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't
Right.
going there for that.
It was like I didn't even
I-
pay you.
She even bought me a drink too. I was like,
Damn.
awesome. And the
God
thing,
wait, you got her
Keenan.
number, right?
Finish your story, Keenan. Finish your story.
Oh, my
okay,
man.
okay. So here's what had happened was, so we're at some point she was obviously she was super wasted and drunk, and I started giving her water and stuff like that, and
You're such a fucking gentleman.
I know as
Who
much
even are you?
I know all the bad stuff you just heard me do to this lady. Totally 180 because that's the real person I am.
He's like
But-
nasty, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you have this water." I mean, you look parched.
Because she was definitely. I even kept holding her up, which is also really good because I got that really close connection. But
So you were being a good civilian
So
and not
being-
letting
yes,
this person.
not letting this person, and I was also being cop blocked heavily, and I'll add this at the end of the story too. But I didn't want these other dudes taking these girls home and like doing what people are asking me I should do. So
Doing what I really wanted to do. I didn't want anybody else to do that.
so basically I let them out. I walked them out to their Uber ride, and I looked in her face and I said I wanted to see you again. And she looked at me and was like, "Oh, this that's awesome. This is serious. Do you want my number?" And I was like, "Yeah." So as soon as I pulled out my phone, her girlfriends grabbed her and took her into the Uber car. and I.
You didn't stop me like, yo, let me.
I didn't. And then I said, I think I even said out loud, I guess it wasn't meant to be. And then,
oh no.
And then,
instead of what's your name?
Yeah, I think what's your Instagram?
What's your
whatever?
IG? Shouty, what's your IG? At what?
Hey,
Wait, but it gets better. Go ahead, Keanan. When you get in your car.
Wait, what?
When I get in my car?
What'd you do after that, man?
You were like, ah!
Oh, yeah.
I would be upset too, man.
I cursed out loud pretty heavily.
Wait. So you did? No, let me. It's a serious question.
Oh yeah.
Did you really connect with that girl?
Hell yeah. And I know she connected with me. I don't know how level of the drunkenness, because I knew I was still, functional.
Right.
She definitely wasn't. So she might not even remember who the hell I was. Even if I woke up in bed with her the next day, like, who the fuck is this guy?
That's the dangerous part. That's why I get why you didn't do what you could have done, because that could have led to something else. Right?
Yeah.
She wakes up, she's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, who are you? What
Yeah.
the fuck? And you're like, oh.
I thought we had a connection. It's like, oh, no, you didn't.
She's like, no.
Yeah.
As she's like wiping jizz off her mouth. Like,
That's really the hard part
Yeah.
about
that is tough.
connecting in places like that.
Yeah.
I understand the need for taking a load off and taking a break,
Yeah, I did.
taking a
My
break from
pants.
work, taking a break from work and going out to a bar because that's where adults go. My honest feeling about that whole thing is I can't believe that's the best we found as adults for us to congregate. Has to be around that to where we get to ourselves in those states. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is that the best we as adults have been able to come up with to congregate around pubs, bars, clubs. Why is it that we can't congregate freely without some incentive for more money or something like that as people who have collected information and want to discuss ideas and move? Why is it that we can't congregate around knowledge, but we can congregate around carnal knowledge, let's say, if you will? Why is that? Our primal drives drive our biggest sense and source of congregation and of social activity. Only our primitive drives.
Yeah.
Do our more developed minds, meanings like when we're sober and we can think rationally, does that keep us from truly connecting with someone? Is connection primal?
It is. The initial connection is always primal, for sure. I'm not gonna know what your brain is thinking.
Right.
And
Like right off the top, I'm not gonna know what you're.
That's a good point.
What type of person you are, like, mentally, just by seeing you.
Yeah.
Seeing you, looking at you is the first thing I'm gonna think of. Look at this dude with his big ass dick.
Right.
Pecs. Like,
Right. Should I kill it? Should I eat it? Should I mate with it?
Yeah, of course. It's all carnal.
There's
it's all
no-
primitive.
There's not a fourth one? I wonder if there's a fourth
Attraction is primitive. Initially,
one. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. That is definitely.
So that's why tall guys.
But even
like
even going out
guys.
socially though, like if you go out socially and you're having drinks with somebody and talking to them, you're not gonna notice them immediately just by the way they talk. Like,
right.
It doesn't have to be
No.
alcohol. It can be coffee. So I mean, to answer your question.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
most
it's-
Asian cultures have like coffee and tea.
Well, yeah. So it's something about the
but
atmosphere.
even then, when you meet somebody at a cafe or something,
Yeah.
you see them initially by their appearance
But you can't rub your dick on their butts like I did at a
or
club.
dip your teeth.
That's probably one of the
bag
reasons
in
why we
their
go to those
tea.
places. Bag my tea. It was so wild. See, the thing is, my question is,
That's my opinion. That's
No,
my
no,
opinion.
no.
Yeah.
That was an interesting question.
I just don't know if the girl, she had to have enjoyed it because she was with it for the whole thing. But a lot of times I question, is the girl really into what's going on? Or is she not complacent and is just into the music and dancing? Or do they know the feeling of what a man cock is and it just doesn't?
Well, yeah, that song being popular, baby, when we're grinding, I get so excited.
Yeah.
That whole song is about that feeling and
Okay,
that moment. And then the reason why I said eye contact earlier, I just meant like it's always good, like coming back to, I think I mentioned this really early on in one of the episodes way back, like full body listening.
Yeah.
Like really being aware of whether you're being invited or you're the one taking the risk. And if you're taking the
That's
risk,
true.
is it being accepted?
I have been following that. That's what that whole night is the perfect example of that scenario.
Gotcha.
I didn't approach her. She pulled me.
Right.
We didn't start dancing. She grinded up on me. We talked. She pulled me in. The whole cop blocking situation where I get to later where she shoved off those dudes and I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
And it made me, like I said, I thought this was
You
an
were reading all
invested
the right
thing.
cues. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just the last tidbit of the whole alcohol thing that really can cut it off or not. But I would like that to be a nice little poll for us. You know,
Yeah.
ladies, do you like
I'd like to think that you made the right move.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
made the right move for sure.
And to answer Joe, it confirms that I am not a really good closer, but I am a good opener
Pickup
conversation.
artist.
Pickup
But you've
artist.
always been that guy. You've always been the guy that can initiate a conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
Like always. Even
Philly's
amongst
seen it.
groups, you can just walk in and be like, "Yo, what's up? What's your name? All
Yeah.
right, what do you do? Okay, you
Hey,
do
guys,
that. All right."
you wanna hang out?
It's going after the things that we want in life that gets in our way.
Mm.
Often. I've got the burden of proof of now taking this to the next conclusion. And my only argument is that whether it's we want happiness and we're not sure how we can express it. Let's say we want more freedom to say what we think without being judged. Let's say you put yourself in a position where you're like, I just don't want to be judged for wanting to see you again. Is it wrong for me to have wanted at this moment to have more time with you?
Are you saying that towards the end of the night that night I should have put, if I really wanted it,
If you really wanted to see, you should have said,
stop.
Hey,
Let me get your
while you had her close to you, hey,
yeah.
can I see you again?
Fuck, I fucked that one up.
You know, just like that.
Damn.
If that's how you really felt.
Well, let me
I
give
think
you
he
another
low-key
scenario.
did.
So when I went to the Met on Wednesday, I was outside smoking. Somebody gave me this.
It was me. I gave it to him. I don't give a fuck.
Gave me this vape pen, and I was smoking outside. This is the night where I knew I got high. So as I was smoking outside, these two ladies, one of them was drunk, one of them was a friend, came up, and the drunk one wanted to hit the weed. So I said, sure, I don't really care. And then she was all about it, and she was all into me, and we're flirting back and forth and stuff like that. And at one moment at the night, she wanted to keep smoking, and I kept looking like I was hesitant to give her some. So her friend, just as attractive, just as outgoing and personal, and I could see the signs too, because she would touch me too, or find ways to touch me. And she was like, I have weed at my house. I live 2 doors down or 2 blocks down.
Okay.
We can just go there.
She said this to you?
Yes.
Dude.
Total strangers. I don't know them. I'm outside. I'm just doing my thing. This is the whole thing about your presence and your height thing.
Yeah.
So,
Your height, yeah.
well, he's like, show your height, like, because I was,
Go on.
telling him. But the idea is that I also denied going to that house with him,
Really?
because one, I felt that I didn't want to go to that house with that drunk girl, because she was super
But she
drunk.
wasn't the only one.
But she wasn't the only one. As Joe said, there was this other lady who was there, who was the one that invited all of us to do it, because they
Yeah.
were friends, and I fucked that one up too.
I don't know. Failure is only a state that can be accepted
Mhm.
or stepped over.
It's a learning lesson.
And failure is a prerequisite for success.
So the thing is, the next time it happens,
You're more
just
ready
gonna-
than you've ever been before.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you offer me weed and you're drunk as fuck, I'm fucking you.
Wait, whoa, wait.
Don't
wait.
say you're a plug him, but I'm going to make an attempt to.
As long as it's
And-
accepted.
And this
It's
leads
consensual.
back to last week's soapbox talk about just doing it. Fuck it. Even if you haven't done it, never tried it, just fuck go for it.
Well, all those things Philly teaches me, and you too. Like,
Give him some credit. Give him some credit after me,
Give
though.
credit. He's like, oh, but you've helped me too. Oh, of course.
Joe was like,
Best
don't
friends.
patronize me.
Best friends.
I watch you both. But usually you don't know I'm there watching you. It's
And
usually
Keenan,
like-
I
Oh,
don't think
that's creepy.
I don't think it's teaching so much as sharing. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, it ain't.
You know what I mean? Like, I hope I never come across that way. I'm like
no.
sharing information.
If I was not in tune to what you're talking about, you would definitely know it.
You'd be like, listen, I don't give a fuck what you're saying to me.
I've become accustomed to be more frequent thanks to Joe, just turning him down and all that stuff. But no, I after both moments
Yeah,
cursed the shit out loud in the crowd. I was like, fuck, because I knew
yeah.
what had conspired
Yeah.
and what the position I was in. And I just don't know why I'm such a nice guy.
Hey man,
No.
you shouldn't feel bad about that either, because you don't want to be that dick that fucking
Takes advantage of people.
that gets hit up 10 years later talking about you raped me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
No, I get it. You're trying to be cautious, but at the same time, there are ways that you can that you can approach a situation where you don't have to be a nasty dude. You could be elegant about the situation. Like, you didn't have to smash the girl.
Listen
that
to
night.
a player talk.
No, you didn't have to smash the girl that night.
Yeah.
You could have been like, "Yo, I really liked you."
So
you
those,
know,
yeah,
maybe tomorrow, or
those two I got
later this week, we could chop it up when we're a little more stable.
I didn't get their numbers, but I got their Instagrams.
A square's love is different from a pimp's love.
I don't want to read it out, but I can show you because we did message, or maybe later. I'll show you later. They did message me back about meeting up again.
Oh, see.
Well,
So
if
that
they
opportunity
happen,
isn't missed.
if they happen to hear the podcast, just say, "Hey, just want to let you know, your boy Keenan's thinking about you."
And don't worry about that girl from Portvu. She meant nothing to me.
If I had a choice, even though the ones at the Mint were younger, I would have the one at Portvu.
Nobody
say that?
has to know.
We'll edit that in post.
Keep
Because
it
you're
on the
telling
damn.
these girls that they weren't worth it.
God,
Keep
it's
it
not like
on the
that.
down low.
Yeah.
No, nobody has to know.
You saw. Just smooth.
You're fine.
I remember
Lay
that.
you down.
Yeah, Pablo Francisco. He was actually in town at the Improv on the 6th. Oh, was it the
I
9th?
would have loved to
I
have
know.
known
You were
And
telling
his
me.
tickets were only like
9th
It
yesterday?
was on like $20. Yeah, I think it was on the 9th.
Ah,
Dude, did you see that other one where he was talking
I was
about
just
Linkin Park?
masturbating and playing video games yesterday. Damn it!
That's why you gotta, whatever.
Don't tell me. Don't
You
tell
know,
me what I gotta do.
Anybody who listens to this knows when Keenan texts you up at night to go somewhere, you go.
It's because it's
Because
popping.
it's always something going down, and it's never boring.
It's always a good time with
And
Keenan.
that's where that tagline came from. 'Cause
If
I've
you go to the
noticed that.
hashtag, it's always a good time with Keenan Duncan. You'll see
Or
there's about 60 posts
Yeah.
that have that now.
Yeah.
60,
I'm branding myself.
you know?
Got to.
Oh yeah. But yeah, those two moments were very critical. in
Think of the
sense I
fact that
reckon.
you have the eyes to
see
see
that,
those
yeah.
situations
I
take
thank you both for
go
that.
down.
Yeah.
There are people out there who just go home thinking that it was a total complete failure, whereas you are now closer than you've ever been to your goal
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because you took the risks necessary to acquire that information.
And I didn't have to do any online.
You see what I'm
dating.
saying?
Yeah.
That's what porn
Don't
keeps
knock
people
on my
away
dating.
from. Porn keeps people away from the information necessary to truly realize a goal in the mating world.
Did you say
Mm.
porn?
I know because
Yeah.
I watched a shit ton of porn, so
I don't know about that.
I don't know if that works.
For
Certain people.
younger minds
Oh, okay.
and lives who have not had that experience. Now, if you're older and you've had it all, then you're like, I just prefer this. It's easier. It keeps me busy while we work towards rekindling or getting down with the get down when we feel it or when we finally have the time, whatever the case is, your case, right? Yeah. But if you're like an undeveloped mind and you haven't had many experiences and you just stick to porn, that's what you rob yourself of.
Yeah.
Those
yeah.
experiences
Okay.
of going out there and being like,
Yeah.
even though I didn't get it, I can see now that I have to approach it this way.
You have to work at it. It's not. It shouldn't be so easy.
Those moments are clearly, they're the clearest representation of it's the journey, not the destination. Because then
Speak of it.
your eyes only get better and closer at seeing what you want to happen. Just think of how crazy that is. And sometimes I think we overlook those things in our lives of all the things we've accomplished. One of the things I'm the worst at for all the things I may be good at is taking a look at accomplishments and being able to acknowledge accomplishments. For me, it's the reason why I'm always constantly productive is because for me, nothing has been accomplished so far because my objective is either vague or so ambitious that it's unachievable. Some people want to have a fucking holiday named after them. You'll never reach that goal. But think of when you have an ambition like that, you have to ask yourself the question, how will this be accomplished? And what kind of person do I have to become to have had this accomplished? And when you ask those questions,
Do people really strive for that? To have a place named after them?
like
Or
a
holiday?
birthday, a
Really?
school, and when I'm done with this, I want to be able to have a school that
Well,
says that I was able to.
It's understandable. I
It's a
mean,
little fucking
But do you see?
Yeah.
No, so you would never want to have a legacy.
I wouldn't want something named. I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my ambition to have something named after
Library
me.
of
Like,
and I'm clearly
I
just
wouldn't be like,
proposing
yo,
like this.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's not
no,
a.
no, no. I know,
you
I
know?
know, I know. That's
Like-
that's self-centered.
I have a huge ego. I definitely want something
self-centered.
named after me.
I mean,
The great
if
Library of
something
Cianan.
does get named after me, that's dope. But that's not what I strive for.
Introducing the new dildo,
Yeah, there you
the
go.
Castellanos.
For every man.
Joe's gonna invent the perfect chair for a couch.
For every. Yes, the perfect chair for.
I've maximized and optimized the perfect position.
It's like the perfect softener for the couch.
Ergonomics. It can hold your beer. It can charge your phone and your controllers.
It's the wireless charger too, so you just be on the go.
Nobody knows the excellence of comfort. You're like I've tested all the boundaries, all the right
You sat in
positions.
each one. Yeah.
Mm. Speaking of testing all the boundaries,
Oh,
you guys see this Michael Jackson documentary?
Oh my god!
I heard about that, and
with the R. Kelly thing, it was bound to come up.
it seems like a lot of people are in support of Michael Jackson. Like it's all fabricated kind of stuff.
I'm absolutely in support of Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
And there was an interview where someone said, I think it was on Vlad TV.
You watch a lot of Vlad, don't you?
I do, because a lot of his
Vlad.
guests are really good guests and have really.
I had never heard of
inspirational
Vlad
stuff.
TV before.
Yeah, it was like
before
an
you-
underground hip hop thing, and he was
He was
doing stuff,
DJing,
and- yeah,
yeah.
and he had someone on his show where he was saying like someone told Vlad that one of the parents were paid money to tell reporters that Michael Jackson touched his kid, and he's like, Michael Jackson never touched his kid. If Michael Jackson touched his kid, he would have killed Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's like,
there are a lot of things wrong with that documentary.
Mm.
The fact that it's definitely biased because it only tells one side. There's no second opinions. There's no no one's defending Michael Jackson on that at
Mhm.
all. Like,
Mhm.
and even I think there was an interview where the director stated, yeah, we didn't want to get anybody we didn't want to interview anybody that was going to protect Michael. We just wanted to
Right.
interview all the,
'Cause
and it
of-
was
yeah.
basically just the two dudes and their families. But you got to consider that one of those dudes, he was like he was like one of Mike's choreographers and everything. Knew him since he was a little kid,
Mm.
and he himself, as an adult, had testified for Michael like 10 years ago when this whole shit went down. That Michael had never done anything.
Oh,
like,
now
you know,
he's saying he did do it.
yeah. And now he's like saying that he did. Like,
Oh yeah.
and this is after his failed career, like after he reached out to the Michael Jackson estate and tried to he wanted to be like the head choreographer for Michael's Cirque du Soleil show.
Yeah.
So what they rejected him on that. So after a lot of things started crumbling for him, and he partnered up with this other dude to do this lawsuit.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh yeah, you know what? Now he did it. Yeah, he did it. Because now there's a lawsuit. Now there's a documentary that went to Sundance, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, yo, like,
Mhm.
okay, shit didn't work out for you, so now you're gonna like come back and retract your statement. Like,
Yeah.
that's a little fishy because you said it under oath, you know.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, what do we say about Michael Cohen? What do we say about all these other people who lied under oath for very serious things? You know, like, do we
Yeah.
believe them now? Like,
I
you
don't
know?
know. I don't know. I never got a chance to ever even go to a concert of Michael Jackson's or in some way come across him in real life. The only thing I do have to go on is I was fortunate enough to have met Seth Riggs Jr. in high school through a friend of mine, Brian.
Who's
Was
that?
ba- And Seth Riggs Jr. is the son of Michael Jackson's the only vocal coach for the last like 40 years of his career, Seth Riggs, and the Riggs family and his daughter in particular, Katie, who runs an awesome vocal coaching program, speech level singing. They like taught me for like 6 months for free. Didn't
That's
ask
cool.
a damn thing from me just
Yeah.
because they believed in me.
Is that
And
why you're so good?
and like she took me to the next level because I was nowhere near, and suddenly I jumped. And you know, they love Michael. He was there all the time, and I just have to go on that. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that Michael didn't do weird shit.
Yeah.
Of course, it's weird. It's weird. Like, having the whole theme park in his place and then always having little kids around. Like, it is weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I'm not gonna say it's not weird because I probably would never have my kid go like stay at Michael's house. Like, it just as a parent, I'm not gonna do that.
Parent would...
But I'm not saying that he did anything. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying that like it's just weird. It is weird, but not enough for me to say that it's gonna tarnish this dude's reputation when he's already been absolved by not just by like judges and shit, but like cleared by like the FBI and like people who actually really investigated the situation, and to be cleared of all charges and still like for this to bounce back 10 years after he's died. And
it's because he's famous.
Bullshit, like, it's crazy to me. And I just can't fuck with it.
You think it's a conspiracy? Like they're releasing this?
No, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's just two dudes that are down on their luck, and they feel that they were entitled to something that Michael Jackson owed them.
Gotcha.
They probably feel like Michael Jackson owed them something. For hanging out with him all this time.
There are so many people in Hollywood. I've been part of parties where old dudes were trying to offer me money so they could suck my dick and then make me an actor. Like,
yeah, you told us that.
Like,
yeah, I remember.
There are some people who aren't famous who are out there doing really wrong shit, and for just because you file something against someone who can't defend themselves, or you bring out material they can't defend themselves, and not only that, they're extra famous, so whatever you do against them is going to reach the headlines. Like, it's just like that thing where suddenly they're going to put out another fucking mixtape right after this, or a book, and make money one way or another. They're going to make money off of this. That's what I'm saying.
Look at Jussie Smollett, like
using a racial divide to promote an album.
Yeah.
And then even if his lyrics have the most profound, lift us up truths in them, and he tries to say the ends justify the means, do they really?
Yeah. I'm gonna ride with Michael on this one. I gotta ride with Michael.
And I wanted to add to what both of you are saying, in the sense that, say for instance, hypothetically, that Michael Jackson did do it. I feel that he picked up that mentality through a lot of his other producers and owners of record
You're saying somebody had to have done it to him.
All these older white guys been fucking kids for millennium, and he starts doing it, and he needs to be the one that's on the face of the cover when all these other people are doing it and are probably still doing it right now. Like, hey, Michael Jackson's up front, so we can still continue doing all that bad stuff. Same thing with R. Kelly.
Have you seen the number? Have you seen the number of celebrity album covers and pictures that do this?
Mm-hmm. Or the pyramid thing?
Right. Well, pyramid exempt from this conversation. Just like it's usually like super famous. Yeah. They put the ring around their eye and hold up the three fingers, and it's supposed to be like this devil conspiracy or whatever. 666, what if that was just a signal of the fucking pedophile who would tell them, hey, when I do this, you know what that means.
Exactly.
And then what if they're so trapped and so tied? Like, what if when you're really that famous, like you really are fucked?
That's what I was asking.
And there's like a power that, like, imagine, because that's a lot of influence.
It is.
So there's got to be someone out there trying to regulate that.
Or multiple people. I mean, a lot of people think this is just
it wouldn't be good for business, because then that means if you had that much influence and you could just turn the tide, a lot of people wouldn't like you.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but aren't there things throughout history that we have seen that, where they have switched and changed things? We're like, how did that become a big thing?
Like you're saying, like there have been revolutions where the powers couldn't contain it.
Oh no.
Or sways of influence.
I think they have been able to contain
where like let's say everybody who had the Bernie Sanders fever at that one time, and everybody donated and it blew up, and everybody was like, it was going to happen. Right.
I think somebody might have said, let this whole Bernie Sanders, develop. Like even the whole fighting against Trump and Hillary. I'm pretty sure they're both pulled by the same person or persons.
It's all a charade, like the Olympics back in the imperial era. Well, we're still kind of living in an imperialist nation, but that's a different. Where like people would put together the warriors, the gladiator scenes, to keep them focused on that while they discussed matters of taxation and what to do with the people.
Yeah, and we're all just football and
one New World Order kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's not.
There's a fascinating book.
Know your history, because nothing's new.
There's
all doing the same thing.
Have you ever heard of Niall Ferguson?
It sounds familiar.
Niall Ferguson wrote this book called The Ascent of Money, and then wrote a couple of other books, and he got some notoriety. And then he finally wrote a book called The Square and the Tower, and he shows the difference between
I
hierarchies
think I've
in
seen
history.
that one.
And then the other one is the differences between network societies versus hierarchy societies, and why the hierarchy continues to fall and the network continues to come back no matter how many times it's gotten rid of.
Mhm.
And it's just a fascinating read. I won't bore you with all the details, but I definitely recommend it if you
Right.
guys ever look at it.
Mhm.
It just goes to show that the individual prospers usually more in network societies with people who have lots of loose ties. Like, for example, a lot of your careers also hinge on like how many people you meet in the industry that like you may not be best friends, but you know each other. And so there's like a loose tie situation going on. Right. And those people tend to get further ahead in life than people who keep their circles really, really, really small
Mm.
because
Oh,
they don't
yeah,
have
because
they
you
don't
can
have
always
enough
reach out to
loose
somebody.
ties. Yeah. To hear about the opportunities available.
Mhm.
And I just feel that any revolution that we witness is fabricated. I wouldn't believe it's the same thing about whole the people rising up and fighting against one cause. If
Like
you-
the civil rights movement and all that.
I a lot of influences have been implemented in certain situations like that. Like the documents that were released in the late 90s, where the CIA was like, yeah, we put some of our members in Martin Luther King's camp. Mostly everybody knows about how the Black Panther Party broken up and how they were introduced to crack and cocaine because they took some of their members and not converted, but made them turn against their own group.
In order to destabilize their power structure.
Exactly. So, I usually take all that stuff with a grain of salt. Like, it's great to have a revolution of some sort, but I still think somebody said, "Hey, this guy doesn't like you. You should do something about it."
And they're part of the bloodline of the first
Yeah.
generation that ever made
Yeah.
property a thing.
Mhm.
And it all goes back to Jesus
Colonization.
Christ.
And Joe's gonna go back in time and
And George
run up-
Bush
run up
George
on him.
Bush is part of the bloodline of the Abraham Society.
Is he?
I don't know. That's what
I-
they say.
Joe's
They
like,
say
"What?"
that they say they like
That's
they-
not, that's not the first time I hear that.
yeah,
Okay.
then they'll say like they're like George Bush, Obama, the Clintons,
yeah,
and all those
yeah.
people are all part of like the Cleopatra bloodline or some
Ah,
shit
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And that's why they're doing the 23andMe so that they
They can find out.
they can
who?
find out who needs to be alive and who doesn't
Whoa.
for the new world order.
Have you done the 23andMe yet?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
I've been considering it,
I
but
thought about it.
I've
one of
done
my buddies
Ancestry.
buddies told me in the future they're going to continue to give out insurance based on predisposed conditions,
Yeah.
and if your genetics show that you're predisposed to disease, they're not going to
Uh-huh.
insure you.
What's the easiest way to get people to volunteer stuff that they don't want to do? You know, you put it into something like 23andMe and make it fun and exciting. Like even Facebook, when everybody's all like, Facebook got your information and
Right.
shares it. It's like, well,
You've been sharing it
Every
forever.
dick pic you ever took is still out there somewhere.
It's crazy. 'cause
Yeah.
We
When
grew up-
Facebook asks you if you want to tag yourself in a picture,
yeah,
you're giving up your information. You're like,
the whole
You are
clueless.
fucking
That's
stupid.
what frustrates me is how you can't be angry because you're too stupid to know what's really going on. So that's
true.
messed up.
I watched like the like the tech hearings, like where
the TED Talks.
no the tech, like when they were
Like the trials.
they're not
Supreme Court trials?
What are they called?
They're
They're hearings, aren't they?
You said hearings
Hearings.
Kind of like net neutrality things.
Yeah, like when they did
for
the
Facebook.
the grand whatever hearing for Google,
Yeah.
and the dude was like, "So, does this phone
That's
know?"
right.
Like,
That's right.
these congressmen are like, will my phone be able to know when I go from here to here?
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
he's trying to explain, well, I don't know what you have on your phone,
Yeah.
so I can't tell you if it will be able to tell you that. He's
Oh, like Zuckerberg when
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, "Does my WhatsApp encrypt my information, or does it know what I'm doing?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Well, again,
I don't know.
although I own Facebook, WhatsApp does have a private encryption. I can't see what you're doing."
Yeah. No, but when they interviewed the CEO or whatever of
Google.
Google,
Yeah.
the dude, he's showing him his iPhone. And he's like, will my phone be able to tell? Will my phone let you know if I'm right here, if I'm sitting here, but I decided to move over there? Will my phone tell you that? And he's like, well, I don't know what your settings are. I don't know if you've turned it on, or I don't know if you're using an app. I don't know. I don't know what you have on your phone, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if it will or won't. He's like, do you mean to tell me that you don't know if you can do this? I was like, no, I don't know because I don't know what you've put on your phone.
Yeah.
He's like, some may, I don't know what you have on your phone.
And they're
I don't know if your
military.
settings are activated or not. Like
They have that stuff themselves too.
yeah,
To
they
play
have it
stupid,
themselves. Yeah,
Their own the Department of Defense does all that crazy shit.
exactly.
Fucking that's the whole Snowden thing. They're using the NSA to spy on everybody in the US.
Yeah.
Everybody in the US is like, we all joked about it. Oh yeah, they can hear us on our phone. Don't say anything. Snowden comes out and says, yeah, that's true.
It's true.
And then we're all like, oh. Like, really?
And then we have all this artificial intelligence that all of us barely use at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We don't definitely use our phones
I think
the way they should
more
be
than
used.
Siri and more than whatever
the way they
Google
can
offers.
be
It
used.
can be used.
Not
Yeah.
should be used.
They're
because
tools.
The way they
Yeah.
can be used.
Amazon Alexa is probably the most popular.
I mean, like the Echo thingy, little box.
Yeah, any Amazon device.
And
has
even
it.
those can record what's going on in your house
Yeah.
at all times because it needs to be able to communicate.
And then
with
the
you, so it has to
iPhones
hear.
with FaceTime and that whole problem that was
Yeah.
going on.
And you can see what it is too.
Yeah.
Like, let me show you.
don't be so stupid. Actually, no. You can be stupid, but
I
you
will
can't
say
be,
this,
you
though.
can't be angry.
I
Don't
will
be
say
angry.
this though.
Yeah,
You guys are
can't be
gonna.
angry.
You guys, if Mark Zuckerberg was like, "Hey, let's hang out,"
Let's see, can I borrow $1 million?
no,
to
and
start a
just wanted to
company?
fucking kick it with you and be your homie, I would be his homie.
I drink and smoke with him.
I
Yeah.
would be his homie.
Only to get some of that Facebook shit.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't meet him, but I somehow inadvertently met him. I was on a plane from LA to San Francisco. This was literally when Facebook was like moving over to Stanford. I was on a Southwestern flight, so he wasn't making mad money just yet. But an older guy, 2 rows in front of me, was looked at these 2 girls and was like, "Hey, are you 2 Facebookers?" And this is how long ago this
What are
was.
you two Facebookers?
They didn't know what he was talking about. These are some young girls, so you would think they would know what's going on. And I kind of barely knew what Facebook was because I was on MySpace and Friendster and all these other things that came out before.
Right.
And he was like, this guy next to me invented Facebook. And I was like, oh, in my mind, I was like, oh shit. I didn't know who his name was, but I was like, oh cool, this new app that my friends are trying to get me into is sitting 2
In San
rows in front of
Francisco?
me. On a plane flight to San Francisco. He wasn't doing private jets.
This was
yet.
way back, huh?
This is how long ago it was.
So you had an interaction with Mark Zuckerberg potentially,
Thank you, South.
or Sean Park, who also
it could have been either
this
or.
is Sean Parker, Sean Parker.
But-
Or Eduardo.
You mean the
I forget
brothers?
his last name. No, he was the CFO, one of the original CFOs.
Yeah, but I don't think the CFO is the founder and creator of Facebook.
So
That's what the guy said.
Yeah,
This
okay.
guy created.
so yeah, it for sure
Facebook.
had to be Zuckerberg.
So yeah, I was like, oh,
and you were like, "That's cool."
I know. And so the girls too were like, okay, hey, and then I think this older gentleman was like, yeah, he's gonna be the next thing or something like that.
Gotcha.
But it was trippy because then when Facebook blew up, I was like, holy shit, I remember something somebody told me about, and that's how I remember that story in my head for however long that was, 10, 20 years, something like that. Pretty crazy stuff. But it's amazing being around in the Bay Area when
Oh,
you
yeah.
had
Joe's still checking the settings of his phone.
I'm looking at
Oh.
my Google Home activities and
porn.
because-
That's
no,
a
no,
porn.
no, no. What's hilarious to me is that my son uses Google Home like
Oh,
every
no.
day, and I'm just
Now he's
looking at all the
watching porn.
things that he'll look up. Like it says,
Big booty
it
hose.
said, "No, what is a Yeti?"
What is a Yeti?
Play white noise.
Oh my God.
He plays because he likes white noise when he goes to sleep.
Okay.
So he'll just play it in his room. He'll just tell Google play white noise, and then it'll play white noise. But it's just amazing to me, like the shit.
Some
that
of the
he looks
questions
up.
he's
yeah.
asked.
Yeah. So Joe's the government in this situation, and his son is the American
Yeah,
people.
sometimes I'll just I'll just sit back and I'll just look at what he's been doing, like his activity.
This is a new type of parenting.
You're like getting to know his mind and stuff.
It's
huh?
great. It's
without
great because,
talking to him.
because he's oblivious to it. He's just acting the way he acts, and he'll interact with Google the way he
So he's
he
your
would
lab
regularly
rat.
do it,
He's the experiment.
which is great. Like
That must be pretty cool.
and all he does is listens to music. You'll just listen to this or skip this video, like play YouTube. Like that's all he does.
Listen
Listens
like
to
Two Live
music.
Crew music.
that makes sense. I mean, he is your son.
Yeah,
you're a
It's
musician.
crazy.
It's
the genetic
crazy.
the genealogy.
Who is Bruce Lee? Like, it's
Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. Like,
what does it mean when
Dude.
mommy and daddy
where
are
do
fighting?
where do dreams come from?
Oh,
like, that's
my heartstrings.
That's freaking great, man.
All the questions that they would have asked their parents.
Yeah, now he's asking Google.
And now the parents have the time to reflect instead of going, you know what? I don't know.
I know that was better too, because then we could say, "Hey, my mom and dad don't know."
And now Google.
Now Google knows everything. But what does that say about the whole parenting scheme now?
Who is
Are parents
Ariana
gonna get
Grande?
lazy?
Oh, this kid is amazing.
Well, I guess
man.
they are, since Joe's not focused.
Isn't
on
that
the
crazy?
podcast.
When we were in school
That's
as
amazing.
kids at that age, we didn't have
Nothing.
like those like
At all.
we just have to be like,
Yeah, we
Oh,
figured it out
direct-
ourselves.
do, do you remember when somebody would ask you, hey, have you seen that one movie as a kid? And you're like, oh yeah, even though you didn't see it, you said yes.
I do remember that.
Why did we say yes to something we hadn't seen just so we wouldn't be left
Just to
out?
be part of it.
Because
yeah,
we
just
prefer
for-
loyalty instead of honesty.
Yeah. Dun. Or like you don't want to be like the kid who doesn't know. And so
True. I mean, we still do that today, right? I mean, yeah, I heard that, or yeah, I listened to that, and you only heard like a
Right.
second of it.
right.
Yeah.
You don't
But
wanna
I
be the
mean,
person
but
that
I think
doesn't
it's
know.
so easy nowadays that you just be like, yeah,
We look it up.
Oh, yep, I seen that.
Yeah.
Mark Maron had a sick ass like late night appearance where he showed up. I think I've discussed this once before. Where he shows up and he's like, you know, it's funny because like now we can just look anything up on Google. But if I had to like the name of a song that I heard back in the day, I'd be like, fuck, what was the name of that shit? And I'd go home, call a couple of friends up, and see, we'd have to use the landline, so they may not be home. So you gotta leave them a voicemail. Hey man, or hey girl, do you guys remember that song? It was part of this movie. Anyways, when you get a chance to listen to this, go ahead and get back to me. And so then, you know, somebody come home and be like, oh, I have 6 messages. They'd finally listen to it and they'd be like, oh, I don't know that. What was that song? And so then we didn't have internet, so we'd have to go out to the library and do some research and find it. And then finally get back to them, call them and be like, hey, it's been about a week, but just wanted to let you know, I went to the library the other day to look it up, and it's actually named, it's called Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. And then you finally, hey, I've got 2 messages. That was it. That was it.
It took 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was the
I
song.
remember
That was the song.
Could you imagine the difference in lifestyle that we lived
And then what's going to happen 50 years from now?
when kids are already Googling all this, and this?
What there might not even be a Google. What if there's something more or better or crazier than Google? Like what would top Google?
Google.
I don't know. There might.
I'm developing the application right now, actually.
I mean,
I have an inkling that Google's gonna like come with something that's just gonna change the
to
game.
our brain, just
Yeah.
wire-
Direct connect, you know, or like
Yeah.
some
Dude.
virtual reality shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been playing with it for years, so it's just a matter of time before they actually.
I
get
mean,
it.
if we do want to actually get that far, we did say that the next best thing might be time traveling. What if you can time travel to do your history, your learning Spanish, learning
Right, like Bill and
Uh,
Ted's Most Excellent Adventure.
well, yeah,
No,
something like
it's
that.
Excellent.
But it's now a Google app. Yeah.
Station.
Fuckers.
Keenan's just mad he wasn't a part of that.
Even though I saw the same
Station.
movie. I was like,
Right, Keenan? Keenan's the one that when they're older, it's like he's like playing like a fucking pizzicato.
Shit. That was gonna lead to something, but maybe it's something a little bit later about the jazz thing.
Yes.
Because he's having another show coming up.
Jazz flute.
Yeah.
Speaking of jazz,
Ba-doop-a-da-ba-doop-boop.
let's talk about homosexuality. No, I love jazz. I'm kidding. I love jazz.
Ba-doop-a-da-ba-doop-a-doop.
But did you actually want to talk about homosexuality?
I mean,
Something happening?
it's no,
Oh,
not
yeah.
necessarily. Okay, it's not
Well,
necessarily.
How come you both know what's going on? I'm like,
No,
No,
it's
I think I know where he's going with this.
it's
you wanna
Do you
expand?
know where? Do you know where?
Well, it just so happens that something that is often overlooked or often assaulted is that homosexuality in Black and Latino communities is looked upon
Oh, as
different
some
than
bad-
it is anywhere else.
For us, I think it's the church. A lot of black people are in that church.
I'm
shit.
pretty sure there isn't an Ellen DeGeneres of the Latino community that's on TV right now.
But we do have a black one. We have Tyler Perry, and we have RuPaul.
Is Tyler Perry gay?
Oh no, he's not.
Just because he wears a dress doesn't mean he's gay,
Because he
man.
wears-
Wait,
dress
RuPaul is drag, but he's
Yeah.
not gay. Is he? I thought RuPaul was gay.
I
He just
don't-
wears drag.
I don't know if
I've
RuPaul
never
is
met
gay.
RuPaul. I'm pretty sure he's cool. You can't be that famous and not be cool. But I'm pretty
Damn.
sure he likes like going out and like doing like
I would say.
the stuff that maybe you'd find
Hmm.
someone who is part of the homosexuality persuasion would.
I think you're right because
Well-
I know there's a few in the black community, but there's like you said, zero for Latin, but I think black have
That
at
I
least
know
one.
of. I mean, I
I'm
could be
not gonna
wrong.
say that there's zero because if you go,
Unless you want to talk about like Walter
see,
Mercado.
Here's the thing. For the Latin community, it's like perfectly fine and acceptable if it's on TV.
Oh,
But the
Okay.
moment it happens in your family,
It's
it's
like,
like,
no,
yo,
I
what the
don't-
fuck? Not in my
yeah.
family, like
yeah.
it's so fucked up that they're perfectly fine accepting it when it's on TV. Like, oh, that's gay, ha ha ha. It's funny. It's
Mhm.
funny. Being gay is not fucking funny. It's not supposed to be funny. It's not meant to be funny.
Mm.
It's a fuck. It's
Not a comic
it's
relief.
life.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be comical. They shouldn't. That's why I don't really watch Spanish television because it plays on that.
Mm.
It plays on sexuality and women, and it plays on homosexuality and making it a joke.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible, and I just hate that a dad okay, because we're first generation Mexicans here because our parents
First generation
came-
American Mexicans.
Okay.
Mexican
And our parents
American, yeah.
originally came straight from the country.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Their
there are a lot of
values.
fathers that have that old way of thinking,
Right,
and the
right.
very manly and this. So it's I hate the fact that they can watch something on television and make fun of it and just enjoy it and be happy about it. But then when it happens to their directly to their family, they chastise the child, they push them away, they beat them, they horribly mistreat them. But yet they can find it entertaining on television. It's horrible. It's stupid. It's just bad. I know when my sister came out, my father was just nope. He was unaccepting of it.
Melissa?
Oh,
Oh.
Brandy.
Brandy.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes,
so-
but yeah.
It was just he was unaccepting of it. It's like and he just wouldn't accept it. It's like, why?
Mm.
Why? How does it affect you? How does it affect your life? What does it do? Are you afraid that people are going to think of you differently? Like
Like you didn't
who
raise them
gives
right
a
or
fuck?
something.
Yeah, like who cares? Let the person be who they want to be.
Mm,
Like if that's who they are, that's who they are. You're not going to change that.
exactly.
You shouldn't even try to change it. You should accept it and you should embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that happens in the black community as well. Like
Mm.
where it's frowned upon, it's made fun of. Like, when I was younger, I used to be the dude that was like fag and gay. Oh, that's gay, and and then just growing up, and then just life experiences, the people you meet and everything. You're like, yo, like why is it necessary to say that? Like
Mm.
it isn't. Why do I have to demean this person or their way of being for my own entertainment? Like it's unnecessary, and this
And
leads
why
back,
is that entertainment?
yeah,
Right.
and this leads back to the whole masculinity thing,
Mm.
being a man. Like you got to be a man. Like
Right.
why? Like you can be a man and still be gay. Like
That's one of
It's-
the things T.K. Kirkland was mentioning about. You don't have to be. Well, in his case, he was saying because he's a black comedian,
Mhm.
you don't have to be overly flamboyant as being gay. You can still be a man. You can still have that mentality of. He was leaning towards still acting heterosexual, but being gay.
But
was
who
like-
cares?
Yeah.
See, but that's my thing. Like, who cares? Like, you can be a man, you can be gay, but if you want to be flamboyant as a man, you can be flamboyant as a man. Like,
Mhm.
that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
In his eyes, it was like you don't have to act like that. Why? What do you mean? Act
It's like the
that?
Key and Peele sketch.
What's that
I don't know
one?
if you remember it. Jordan is the writer, right? He's the one that wrote Get Out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Us, right?
Yeah.
So Jordan Peele's character is this straight-laced like office
Mhm.
secretary. Like I don't know, he was working in one of the cubicles at the office, and then Keegan Michael Key's character was super flamboyant. Like, hi, oh, you got a problem because I'm gay, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Right? Where Jordan Peele finally like turns her, like he continuing goes, no, that's not it, man. Just could you keep it down? Like I'm trying to work. And then at the end of it all, he's like, yeah, like they have a few more interactions, and it turns around, and Keegan Michael Key's like, no, it's because I'm gay. You're coming at me foul, whatever, sideways.
Mhm.
And then Jordan Peele's like, that's not why. And then he gets a call. He's like, hold on. And he picks up the phone. He's like, yeah, no, I know, honey. No, yeah, okay, all right. I love you too, Jordan, or whatever. Like he like says like a
'cause he
man's
was
name,
gay.
yeah, and he turns
Yeah.
out gay, and he's like, and then Keegan Michael Key's like, oh, you're gay. He's like, yeah, I'm gay. So it's not because you're gay.
Yes. Okay. There are instances where the flamboyance does get out there to the point where it's like overwhelming.
Mhm.
But I've seen that there are some gay people who do take it to that level, but I can understand why they do that too, because for a lot of their lives they've been treated a certain way and they've been bashed a certain way. So of course you're going to take a hold of that. Of
Mhm.
course you're going to own that and say, yo, if you have a problem with me being this way, and I think that's justifiable for a lot of gay people, just being able to defend who you are as a person, the same way that damn, I don't even know if I should go here, like going into civil rights and the whole like labor
With
the
the
whole
farm pickers?
yeah, the farm pickers and all
Oh,
that.
you
Like,
might as well.
yes, you want to own that. You want to take it. You want to
Make it your
yours.
power.
Yeah, you want to make it your power. But
So when you see
So-
the huge sombreros with like,
I'm
like they've gone
offended by
over-
that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, like the whole Cinco de Mayo thing. I don't celebrate Cinco de
Well,
Mayo.
not
like,
as the Americans, but Latin people or Mexicans going full on cowboy type stuff and outfits and whatnot. Like,
He's talking about like on
The
cheddar
stereotype
music and
is a
shit
very
like that. The
stereotype part.
mariachi.
hey,
Or you're talking about the dude with the poncho
I,
and the
I
hat.
don't know. I don't
yeah,
know.
like poncho and hat, like because you're saying like the very flamboyant gay is acceptable and it should be them trying to say or defend that sort of lifestyle and personality. And I'm saying is that sort of the same equivalency as
I don't think that's
Hispanics
equivalent.
are-
No,
no.
I don't. Because being gay and being flamboyant or not is a lifestyle. That's the way you are as a human being. You don't go around every day fucking wearing a sombrero with a fake mustache and fucking poncho every single. You don't go around every day wearing that.
not
You don't-
not
you
that
don't-
one, but
you
the
don't go-
farmer one that you were talking about.
I'm confused.
So just-
as to
Isn't
what
so-
there,
you're
isn't
gonna-
there a stereotypical style of what Hispanic farmers have?
Yeah, but for the most part, Mexicans don't wear that.
I think we
or
need to hear
out-
your
yeah,
point
yeah.
before we continue down this path.
Oh.
You were making a point in regards to why it's related to the civil rights movement and the farm pickers.
Because the same way that they've had their stripes and been judged and persecuted for it is we have to stop thinking that fight is not the same fight, because it's still inequality. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
As far as these movements are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
they're the same fight, because we're still fighting against oppression. We're still fighting against prosecution.
that'll be
And,
all
and you're
unjust, yeah.
equating over the top flamboyance with something justifiable because it's part of the movement for equality.
No, I'm saying flamboyance is a lifestyle. That's if you're a gay man or woman and you're overly flamboyant, that's just the way that you are. I'm not going to change the way that you are because I'm annoyed by it. Like that's my own grievance. That's my own grievance, and I shouldn't.
It's the equivalent of somebody being offended by something, and it's like political
Yeah,
correctness.
Yeah, I'm not going to be. I'm not. If I'm offended by myself internally. I shouldn't have to put that burden on you because
It's not
that's
other
the way
people's
you want to live.
responsibility for your feelings.
Now you're saying about the stereotypical Mexican with the sombrero.
well, that
and the
because he was
mustache
under
poncho.
he misunderstanding what you were saying.
Okay, that's completely different. That's somebody overly doing it. That's somebody overly being offensive.
No, even if somebody was Mexican wearing that outfit, or
I'd
the
be
stereo,
offended.
the
Like, why do you
stereotype,
have to do that?
No, so Keenan's wondering if you think that the over flamboyance is the equivalent of like a mariachi showing up
That's
in the
what I'm
whole
saying. It
getup.
isn't.
It's
No,
not.
a
not.
mariachi is a different thing. That's somebody who dresses professionally and does that professionally. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm trying to I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I'm trying to find what is the stereotypical.
Is there a
uni-
stereotypical uniform that a
that-
farm picker wears?
Yeah, that
And
you
is
would-
it made fun of or
where you would
looked
go
down
down
on?
the street in like Panama City or East LA, and it's like, why are they walking and dressing and talking like that, even though that's part of their lifestyle? Like that's the way they
I think-
live, the same lifestyle as if you're.
but is
flamboyantly
it?
gay. I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I've never seen that. I've
Oh,
never seen
okay.
somebody regularly dressed with a poncho and a.
But it doesn't have to be a
and
poncho. Just whatever the stereotype Hispanic is, farm picking, whatever that is.
I don't know what that stereotype
Okay.
is.
Other
Well, I don't know.
other than the cholo stereotype, I don't know if there is a
the
stereotype.
cholo stereotype.
Yeah, or the circus music stereotype.
What's the
The
circus
bum
music?
bum 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 bum, and it's like Pablo Francisco shit.
Yeah, but see, that's.
That's not the same.
I feel like there are
because
three
of-
different conversations happening.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
think so.
Or three
Because
different
what I'm
people,
talking about is what I'm talking about is if a person is flamboyant, overly flamboyant, that's
Mhm.
just the way they are.
And
I'm
I just wanted to know if there's anything like that for race, because you equate it to race.
Yeah, you did
So
bring
I'm
it up.
wondering.
So
if
you
there's
did say.
anything
So
on the race.
you said I don't know if I should even go there.
Yeah. Okay. What I
Yeah.
was trying to say is like just the same way that I wouldn't demean somebody or look down on somebody for being a specific race. I'm not going to demean somebody for being as flamboyant as they are because that's just the way they are. I'm not gonna look down on you or talk shit to you because you're black.
Even
And
though
the
you
same
do.
way, no, that's not true. You fucking fuck, fuck you. Or I wouldn't
I have
expect you to
proof.
fucking demean me or anything because I'm Mexican,
Yeah,
even though you
I
do.
do. I do all the time.
But see, that's different because
We're
that's
friends.
that's our internal friendship. Like
Yeah.
we know that
Yeah.
we're still brothers, brother. No, but
Right
no,
on.
but you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. Like I'm not about to judge you
Not
for
a part
being
of this
black.
conversation.
I'm not about to judge. The same way I wouldn't expect you to judge me for being Mexican.
Or for
That's
you guys
why-
judging me for being half white and half Mexican.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean exactly. So I can't judge a person for being flamboyant.
Okay, yeah.
even
okay.
even because I can tell you, like Sonia, like follows this dude that
Super
is
flamboyant?
mad flamboyant,
Yeah,
and it irritates the shit out of me. But it's the way the dude is.
yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
so fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is because there are people who are overtly flamboyant, just
I
the same
know
way
you like
that there
my
are people who
style.
are
You
that,
like
that there are
my
people out there who are
breaking down.
overly ghetto or overly,
That's
you
true.
know, like
yeah.
overly dickish.
Oh,
with it, you
everything
know?
I love.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes I don't like the overly ghetto. Sometimes
Yeah,
I
but
feel
that's
like,
your own. That's your own fight. That's you internally.
I
You
actually
shouldn't.
But
you sh-
I think there's so much to it that that just lives up to a certain way of life that it doesn't have to be that way. I feel like it's I just don't see it as
your existence shouldn't make others feel like they've been imposed upon. That's what you're saying. Like you can enjoy your tea. Like it's like the movie Be Cool, where Andre 3000 plays Dabu and he's sipping some tea and it's a bunch of thugs and he's like, and Cedric the Entertainer turns around to Andre 3000's character and goes, Dabu, can you make your tea enjoying experience a little less extravagant? I'm trying to conduct some business here. Right? So
but that's just courtesy.
so that's what I'm saying. Be yourself within the boundaries of courtesy to others and
Okay, yeah.
them being themselves.
Yes, I can agree with that. Be courteous. Be
No matter what you are, be that 100% with some courtesy. Although that could easily be misconstrued for the same
That
argument. The same argument is, hey, I'm offended.
Yeah. I just don't think that the overly extravagant, extremely ghetto lifestyle was not forced upon, that it was natural. I think
So you're saying you don't think it's natural? Is
I
what you
think
meant to
that
say, right?
element of when you see like somebody who's like super hood, super from the streets, super ghetto, I think that's artificial. I think there was a lot
I
of
don't know,
influences
man.
in
I
there.
know some ghetto ass people that.
Hold on, hold on.
Currently,
I know
currently
some
they
real
are.
gangsters.
But I'm saying
I
that,
know some hood rich folk that are just hood rich, and that's all they know.
but how they got to be that way was supernatural. If we're talking about, our slave trade and our whole
Right.
movement, and how involved you take that person and put them
in a different environment.
completely different. And
Like you grew up in the hood, but you're not running out there in the streets being like, "What's up on the dead homies" and all that, right?
and there, and
yeah,
there-
but
not
some
that there's
people-
anything wrong with
some
that,
people
but
are just
no.
raised differently, though.
But that's what I'm
Like-
saying. Like that is not a natural element like being gay is. Like that I feel like the ghetto vibe is a mentality.
Whereas
that's what they know.
Whereas
That's not.
You can't necessarily say it's.
They're
super-
born with it now, but they weren't that historical.
it's like
genetic
Malibu's Most
movement.
Wanted with what was the actor's name? Jamie Kennedy, where everyone thought he was like being a poser, and he's like, "You don't understand. My nanny was Jamaican, and she's like my mom. I
Yeah.
grew up in this rich family, but all I know is hip hop, and I'm down."
Yeah, no, there's even this female white rapper from Oakland, and she was in interview because she says the N word a lot, and she's like, well, that's where I grew up from because of that.
Right.
But I'm saying like the history,
Right. And do you agree with that?
I'm just saying the history leading up to her existing in that moment. I don't think that was developed naturally. Like that's who we always
But
were.
it is natural to them now.
Well, it is now, but
Yeah, but you
it's-
can't look at each person individually and say, well, that's not natural. That's not what the history shows us. No, because that's that person specifically. That's the way they're raised. That's the
This
way
is
they
the
keep
most
personally, it's
none
not-
of our business we've ever
It
talked
really
about.
is, man.
I'm putting
Because
out there
none of us are political commentators or economists or
yeah, but that
studious
stuff's based on
theologies,
observation
right,
anyway,
yeah,
which
you're
is
right.
what we're doing.
right.
And
That's why it's the None of Our Business podcast.
my observation is that none of them are born that way. They're developed that way
It was like
over time.
my observation is you should shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying, being gay is something that is a genetic birth thing. They didn't develop being gay over time. They were always
true.
they're always been gay.
It's like that thing like no straight person has ever just the way no straight person has ever turned, like parents are like, oh, don't let my kids watch that because that's gay, where it's like no gay person ever looked at some straight people having sex and then gone, I think I'm gonna be
That's
straight.
Yeah. So and my saying is that that you're not born hood or ghetto. You're developed that way because of your surroundings.
That's a conditioning
You're
of
not-
environment as opposed to being gay.
I see
can't-
what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I'm hoping I'm relating it to like
No, I get
I
what
don't-
you're saying. I
and-
get what you're saying.
yeah, but and maybe disagree with me promotes that stuff that I feel like that's not good because you're saying, well, you're born street and hood
You're gonna
from
stay
the
straight
get go,
hood.
and you'll always be that way.
When
Like
you-
Right.
like
No,
being
no,
gay,
no,
you'll
right,
always
right,
be
right.
gay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Hey,
That's-
why don't we all just
No, that's I mean, that's a good argument. That's a good argument.
But
And I think it's, even though they're two different circumstances,
and I think
yeah,
that's where
good.
I think that's where
good.
it's going is that the two different circumstances, like Philly would say apples and oranges, but I always say that even though it's apples and oranges, they're still fruit. They still grow on a tree. Like
I know
they're-
we're talking about gay, but you don't have to say fruit. Like,
that was
why couldn't you say vegetable? I'm kidding.
no, it's true. Just like
Woo!
hot
Tension cuts.
and cold are two different things, but they're still temperature.
Yeah.
The point is,
The point
we
is,
gotta-
Fourth dimension.
fuck you, Joe.
the point is, no. Okay, the point
Yeah.
is that me speaking not necessarily for
He had his soapbox talk
culture.
before we even got
No,
there.
no,
that
no.
did sound like a soapbox, didn't it?
No, it's not because I mean I wanted input.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's not a soapbox talk, because I wanted input. I want
Okay.
you. Okay. Anyway,
Alright.
but the point is that or my point specifically, it doesn't represent what you guys think,
Mm.
but that our cultures, or Mexican specifically, or even Latin culture in general, because it's
because
funny
there's
when
more
it's
than
in-
just Mexicans.
it's funny when it's in entertainment, but
Yeah.
it's not funny when it happens in your family. You got to cut that shit out because
You want the hypocrisy to stop.
yeah, because
Hipócritas.
That is hypocritical.
exactly, but they also have to cut that shit out because that leads to a lot of young boys and young girls being repressed, holding a lot of resentment for their parents for not being accepting of something that they just naturally are. Like you don't you get a lot of kids who turn into adults who are incredibly confused and just have like an internal anger, and they let it out on a lot of people because they don't know who to blame. Yeah. They don't know who to blame. They hate themselves for being this way. They hate their parents for feeling like their parent, they see their parents their whole lives talk about these people and talk shit, so they're like, oh shit, I can't come out because my parents are gonna fucking hate me. Like, so it's like, it's just we have to stop thinking like we have to stop thinking that it's unnatural, because it isn't.
Yeah.
And
I was just talking to my buddy Josh
That was so
about
true.
this. We were having some sushi yesterday,
Where?
and up the street on it's like on York somewhere down that way.
Everything's on York. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we, like Eagle Rockish.
Yeah.
and he was telling me about stuff, and I was like, it is true. Like growing up that way, it can lead you to so many internal issues, and then you see their lives change the minute they're free enough to admit it to the world and open up, and suddenly they can be themselves, and they don't have that as step one before they do anything else.
Yeah.
Before they take a shower, before they say hello to someone, every moment of their lives, they're thinking, first, I can't be this with all my might before I do anything. The equivalent of having a bad drug habit where like it weighs you down. It keeps you from being able to fully be 100% who you are. And everyone knows one thing for sure. If a dick isn't hard all the way, it's not getting into where it wants to be.
I mean,
Joe's
that's
figured out
debatable.
ways.
That is debatable.
Just
brother.
say that's
'Cause
debatable.
if you hold it just tight enough, the circulation gets cut off, so it becomes hard. And then you just gotta
And once the
get
tip
it
gets
in
in,
you just gotta wet it a little bit, wet the thing a little bit,
what's your
It
position?
works.
What's your
It works.
position
It
on
works.
lube?
And then once you're in, it's like the light bulb turns on, like, oh shit, okay, I'm in here already. Fuck it.
So many sex therapists talk about how it's important to introduce lube into a relationship. Did you know that? It's one of the
think after
highest
30,
recommended products.
I think after 30, it's
God.
definitely something that needs to be discussed.
I got something to tell you guys.
Go ahead.
I wish I could get the look, but it's bad when. So I had problems with my internet. So I had
What? How does lube? Okay, I'll let you go ahead.
So I had a technician come by my house to fix my internet. And then
Oh,
I off do some
jeez.
work. I move some stuff around to get him access to the modem and all that stuff in the computer. So he's working by the computer, and he gives me a new modem and all that stuff. And then he fixes it and say goodbye. And I was like, thank you. And I come back. And I come back to my desk to get ready to masturbate. And I see all of my lube is already out there. I didn't put it away. So the thought of this.
He was like, so you had problems with the internet you're about to beat off, and you called in the specialist to make sure you could successfully beat off.
And I was like, I wanted to post a meme showing the look you get when you just realize you left all your sex shit out in the open for some stranger to see.
Yeah, your strap-ons and everything.
They can't.
Thank God I hid whatever toy I had in my house, because if you would have saw that, I would have been like, I don't know, what would I say? What would I do? I apologize? Like, I'm sorry. Or does he go, hey, I have one of those too?
Oh, my flesh lamp. I don't usually.
Like, he sees
It's not, I don't want to do it with you. It's just out. I made a mistake.
He sees the flashlight, and then he looks
Like,
over,
it's
and you're like, it be like that, man. Be like that.
Hey, that is
I
pretty
get
good.
lonely
This is a good.
sometimes.
This is a good model.
Yeah, if he gives me advice,
You know
like,
what?
wait a minute.
I have two of these. I get it, brother.
You can borrow.
Oh man.
But that happened.
They're actually coming out with the firmware upgrade. It now learns to create a ribbed experience.
Version 6.627.
Oh my god.
Build 2.
There was a bug in the code.
Oh, shit. Gosh,
So,
man.
that was
Joke,
it.
but there's
Yeah.
firmware updates out there.
Do you think they're firmware updates
happened
for
this
fucking
morning.
sex toys?
Dude, if it has technology and it runs on a program, there's a firmware.
Actually,
I could see like one of those robot ones.
Yeah, they probably do.
I could see there being
my firmware currently does not allow me to offer you that service.
Jeez, man.
Well, they do have the ones that they talk back to you now. So I think they redid a new model.
Well,
that's the thing.
Thank you.
They don't talk back in a nice way. They talk back and belittle the owner,
like some what's it called, dominatrix.
Yeah, apparently some guys like it. Well, not even dominatrix size. Like, I don't know if they say like, clean the dishes, you pieces of shit, or something like that. But it's like
very bad, boy.
They
you better clean those dishes.
Not in that.
Put your finger in your ass.
That's more nice though. They do it like in a mean way. Like they say it like they have not sarcasm. What is it? What's the thing that girls do and say all the time that annoys guys?
What?
Just kidding.
Keenan, you're what are you doing, Keenan?
I forgot. There's a term for it, but what is it? You got. So
I don't know. There's a thing that men hate that women do.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that should be. Didn't I? Oh, I already said that on a previous podcast.
That's not nice, because then that would mean that there are things that men do that women hate.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to be done on episode like 5 or 6, where I said the dualities of men and women. Men post things and women post things, and then you'll see how a lot of this stuff is so similar, yet we separate it out because we're men and women, and we have this mentality of like, you're not like me, when in reality we are. We're humans.
Same.
Yeah,
we're all the same, man.
Yeah,
we all poop out of one hole, eat out of the other.
Which hole that is up to you.
Oh God. I hope you're not eating anything with the other hole. If you are, you might want to get that looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, it breaks down a lot faster, doesn't it?
How are we on?
We're doing well.
We're doing good.
Do we have anything else to talk about here?
I mean, I can keep going
always
if you want me to.
talk
I mean, we have a shitload of stuff to talk about, but there's just like
so
many things.
Okay, I've recently had an influx of DMs, because the IG's blowing up.
Sorry,
and so I've had a hard time getting back to everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of those people had been accidentally unfollowed, right? So when I finally got back to it, there was like 3 messages, and they were like, well, fuck you fucking hypocrite, for unfollowing me. And I was like, whoa.
That was your personal Instagram.
Yeah, my personal Instagram. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't mean to. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to unfollow you. You know what I mean? Like, I'll follow you right now. When I went to go follow him back or whatever, I was blocked. And I was like, damn.
People are ruthless out there.
And like,
that's
a real thing.
But that's the thing,
Yeah. That's like, I didn't realize somebody would take it that personal. And honestly, it wasn't on purpose. But some people take that shit personal.
Do you know this person personally?
No.
Like, oh, well then fuck him.
I never knew this person, but.
What's on your list? Oh,
you know what? I got it. Okay, so I went live the other day. Yesterday, last night. No, I went live. No, that was dope. I went live last night, and one of my longtime buddies had been trying to get a hold of me for a while. I'm just you guys know I do 1,000,001 things. We all are busy, and he said that he mentioned that he needs to surround himself around more creative people who are inspiring, because he feels that when he's not surrounded by that, it's hard to get like your product out.
And that's why I'm here.
Because like he wants to write this hip hop musical.
Because you guys are all creative people, and that's one of the reasons why I joined this. Why I joined Collabo. Why I'm putting this out.
Like you're going out of your way to become a part of things.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Wait, what? When have you ever said that in a sentence?
He said whoop-de-whoop. Ladies and gentlemen, Keenan went there.
He said, zip it up and zip it out.
What is it? Is it whoop-de-whoop or whoop-whoop?
Zippity-doo-dah.
Fuck.
Wait, what are you referring to?
You said it right.
People...
Whoop-de-whoop.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
When it's like...
You didn't even know if it was right. You just said, fuck it, I'm going to go for it.
I've always wanted to say this.
I've always wanted to say this. For shizzle. For shizzle.
But that's, when people were telling a story and they're like, the yada yada, it's the ghetto yada yada,
whoop-de-whoop.
It's whoop-de-whoop, right?
Whoop-de-whoop.
It's so funny when I hear that, when somebody's like really street or hood.
And they said, they were just out there like,
boom, 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 boom. I was like, whoop-de-whoop.
That's hilarious. I shouldn't laugh.
And someone from the hood goes, yeah, word.
What?
Word. Like we know it's like when somebody first told me, they're like, "Yo, are you like hot right now?" Have you ever had somebody say that to you?
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, "Yo, are you hot right now?"
are you hot right now? Like
You're
mad?
like, are you like mad, or are you really
You
mad?
hot? That shit got you hot though, right?
Yo, you big
Hey.
mad, huh?
I think I
Big
might have heard
man.
that one.
Big is a thing now. Like putting
Yeah.
big before things.
Mhm.
He's big.
Big dick.
I mean, yeah, that's always been a thing.
Yo, you big.
Not for
big
me,
dick.
but you know,
Okay,
it's
But I found one.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
What would you do if your credit card is declined in front of friends
That's right.
when you're meeting new people?
Yeah.
That's right.
Definitely happened to me.
That happened to you?
That's how that story came about.
Oh, talk about it, King.
So I was at a bar, the other door, great place. Rachel's going to be performing there on April 25th. And
It's at the Canby. April. Oh no,
April
that's
6th is
April
Canby.
6th is Canby.
Reseda.
What's the
April
other place?
25th is Rachel at the other door.
at the other door.
The other door.
It's
in
the one
North
next to the
NoHo.
Canby. It's the other door. No,
It's the other-
I'm kidding.
Thank you. The idea is that I met this girl at this bar,
Hey.
and this is crazy. This trippy thing about musicians, artists, and dedication, all that stuff is that she's coming from San Diego to go to a theater in Hollywood, like every month or so, or something like that. I was like, that is trick, because something about the scene in Los Angeles just isn't right for television and movies and stuff, but theater, she's really trying to get in the theater. But anyway, long story short, her credit card got declined when she was buying a drink, and I felt so bad, because I've been in that situation many times when I was in college and stuff like that. A lot of times when one time happened to me at across the street from
All the popping, by the way, we're opening up new brews.
oh yeah.
Cheers.
Well, by we I mean them, and I'm drinking water.
And so whoop de whoop.
Basically.
so babe, what do you
I felt really bad because I've been in that situation before, and I said I'll cover it. You know, I'll pay for your drinks and stuff like that. Just get out.
And then you put your hand on her hand. You're like, don't worry, I'll cover that.
Again, just being a nice guy. I don't know what it is, but no, it just really sucked. And doesn't know anybody really, and it's like in front of all these strangers and stuff, and it probably feels super awkward. She just met me and we had a great conversation, and now I find out you can't afford your own
Money.
beer.
Well, let's not say that she can't afford it.
oh,
because
that something happened.
Consider the fact that she's from San Diego
Mhm.
and she's making a purchase in LA.
Mm.
And that's happened to me multiple times where
What is this? What?
yeah, no, because your banks or your credit cards look over where you are
Oh.
or where you're from. And if you're not making purchases, or if it's a weird thing, like say you buy something in San Diego in the morning
Mhm.
and then you buy a drink in LA at night,
Yeah.
they're gonna flag that because that's like
Suspicious
that's
activity.
suspicious activity. That's a distance.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like
Unless you're a baller and your history looks like that all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
exactly. No, you're right. You're right.
Gotcha.
Algorithms and bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like that happens. That still happens to me.
Huh.
Like I'll be, I'll buy. It doesn't happen if I do it at the airport, but say I'm at the house, I stop by,
Mm.
and get like some sandwich or something, and then later on that day I fly to San Francisco and I buy dinner out there. They'll flag that shit.
Mm.
And you got to sit on the
and they won't
bank, on
let
the
me- yeah.
phone.
Exactly. They'll either won't let me purchase, or I have to call it in and be like, "Yo, no."
Shit, so that has
So,
happened to you
yeah.
where your card got declined or
Absolutely,
something.
yeah.
And most recently,
I'll be like, yeah, no.
no, I got the money. Yeah.
I got the money. Hold on. Wait,
It
wait,
feels
wait.
weird, doesn't it?
Boom. Yeah, it
God,
does feel a little.
And
It
what
was like-
about when you really don't have the money? You're like, shit.
I know. It's like you lost your
That's-
soul.
Yeah. When it's happened to me, I'd be like, no, player. I got the dough. 1 second.
Yeah. That actually happened to me where I didn't have the money and I was minus, I think, $5 or $10 in the bank.
Gosh,
And I was in college and I tried to purchase something.
Why would you do that, Keenan? I
Student
was
loans.
horny.
I mean,
I needed the drink.
if that's not
It was
enough
like food
incentive,
or something.
some people will
Oh.
refuse to get a job, right? Like some people out there like have a hard time keeping a job. And then they're out there looking for jobs and they don't know why they can't find jobs. Like, what do you tell someone like that? Like, let's say that they really are.
There's sanitation. You
jobs.
can there's oil. There's
Right. It may not be shit you'd like,
No, you can clean toilets and make some money off of that.
but
Probably
you
good
can make
money.
money.
Yeah.
And likely those are high-paid jobs,
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief.
But some people don't want to work certain shifts. I declined a job at SpaceX because I didn't want to work a graveyard shift from 12 to 6 in the morning.
Even though they would have
every day of
paid
the
you some
week.
serious buku dollars.
And I was like, I can't.
would they
I
do
I
that?
can't mentally go through that.
Well, you don't know that you can't.
I've
It takes adjustment.
Some most non-heinous dollars.
Tell me there's 3
Dolores.
things I just fucked. 2 dates
Yeah.
and now SpaceX.
You don't know that you can't do it. Like
I've done some work.
Break
that
your
was
limits now, Keenan.
that was
Go
like
beyond your limits.
Late night, 24 hours.
your
or-
limit is your mind,
Oh Jesus.
and your mind is limitless.
Remember
Well-
Parappa the Rapper? Punch, kick. It's
Oh,
all in the
God.
mind. If you want a teacher, come on the teacher. Punch, punch, kick,
I'm
kick, kick,
kicking for
punch.
those of you
Duck,
who
He's,
duck,
yeah, he's
punch.
actually kicking. Yeah.
Parappa the Rapper, probably an Asian panda rapper.
90s,
what the
man.
fuck is wrong with the
90s.
90s?
90s.
What
were
was
awesome.
Parappa the Rapper a panda?
I'm pretty sure it was a panda.
I thought he was a dog.
It was a dog.
It was a dog. There might have been a panda character, like one of the
Parappa
side
the
side bit chicks.
Maybe he was a dog.
Bitch chicken.
It
I
doesn't
thought
make it
Parappa
any
was a
less weird. And what the fuck was Abe's Odyssey?
Yes, that was a weird ass one.
Abe's fucking.
You remember it?
Odyssey.
You
Where
you would like
concentrate.
concentrate, and but you were still completely vulnerable at all
backwards
times.
man, the
Oh, yeah,
backwards man,
yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
Unlike
Same-
Soul Reaver.
Same thing with Battletoads.
Okay,
Oh,
so there's a new game coming out, which reminds me so much of Soul Reaver. It's called
Why did that franchise die?
yeah. I
Sekiro.
don't know.
It's called something like Sekiro. Actually,
Like
The
a devil,
the
a devil,
Japanese
yeah.
one,
yeah,
where you're like a samurai or something like that. You
yeah,
run around-
an undead one that can absorb souls and do all that shit.
Hmm.
Somebody asked.
So
me
Shang
about
Tsung
that.
with
That
a
would be-
samurai sword.
Yeah. Oh well, a lot of those companies and developers, so people get bought out or switched around, or they try to develop a game that just makes a game go bankrupt. Eidos Interactive is the one that created
Yeah.
the one that you're talking about, and they also created Tomb Raider,
Ooh.
but they got bought out.
I've never played that game beyond the first demo version that was available on PS1.
Oh really?
And like it just didn't seem interesting.
Well, for those
Which
out
one?
there,
Sorry.
Tomb Raider. That's
Not
why I'm
to-
so surprised that
Oh,
it's
yeah,
such a
yeah.
big franchise.
oh, it's a fun thing because it brought something that no game brought at the time, was 3D adventure. Almost like you were you were a female Indiana Jones.
like Spyro the Dragon,
Yeah, but
but as a
you're-
real person.
as a person, and you can connect with the character because they're human. and
Like the
they're-
Sega Genesis Jurassic Park game.
like I said, well, I mean, more like the movie Indiana Jones on your.
Oh.
You're playing Indiana because they didn't have Indiana Jones. You're
I
playing
see what
Indiana
you're
Jones in the
saying.
video game system.
And there wasn't like an archaeologist thing like that out
No,
there.
and where they and the style that they were making their 3D adventure was definitely different than all the
Ahead
other
of its
ones.
time.
Yeah, and the way they developed over years they got better and better
Yeah.
and better until Naughty Dog, who created
Bandicoot,
Bandicoot,
Crash Bandicoot.
came out with their Uncharted series.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. Fucking blew everything out of the goddamn water. They went crazy with their storyline. You can watch the story without playing the game and be enjoyed as like any blockbuster movie out there.
Is
Yeah,
that similar to like
absolutely.
Fallout?
Just the story only.
No.
No.
It's
'Cause that's like a first-person shooter.
No,
right?
this is third person adventure, action
yeah.
adventure.
It's
Okay.
like Max Payne.
like Pitfall. Wasn't Pitfall a game that
Closer to
did that?
Max.
Pitfall, side scrolling.
Yeah.
Think of if Pitfall went 3-dimensional and it had fucking
shootouts and chases.
Yeah,
and
with the crazy script made
jumping
by
off an airplane. Like
Yeah.
So that's
was
why have you guys seen the Tomb Raider movie, by the way?
Mhm.
With Laura
Yep.
was
I haven't
Yep.
seen that new one.
With
the
new one?
I haven't,
Yep,
I
I
haven't
saw
seen
it.
the new one. Is
Yeah.
it good?
It's pretty good.
What's
It-
her Vikander? What's
Yeah,
her,
yeah, Vikander.
It was,
What's her name?
she was good, and they did a decent job going.
They
going back
based
to
it
the
off the
original.
reboot. Right? Oh, was it based off the reboot?
They based off the reboot, but the storyline's a little different, obviously.
Creative
um,
Liberties, right?
Yeah, and they don't want to repeat the same thing that's in the game. You
It's
just
like
play
a
the
Jan
game.
Brown
Alicia?
movie, though. Huh? Yeah, Alicia Vikander. Yeah.
Okay.
But they did
Alicia
a
Vikander.
decent job. It's not the best video game that adaptation
Right.
movie yet. It was one of the good ones, but I don't know. I don't know why they can't make a good adaptation film.
Dude, the Dragon Ball Z live film
video
was
games.
fucking
But that's from an anime though.
shit.
And I know they're still trying, they're working things out. But for video games, they've never been successful. The first Tomb
Final
Raider,
Fantasy was pretty successful, but within the gaming
within
community.
the,
still.
yeah, and Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie did spawn a sequel, and it did make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
The Resident Evil films have 6 or 7
exactly, and it's
of
just
them. But
like
they're, I mean,
the first one didn't.
I
Even
guess
take
they
place
are
in a mansion.
successful, but they are successful.
They are successful. I'm.
Yo,
Yeah, okay,
you remember that
yeah.
scene?
I mean,
and I think the
They're
first
not
Resident Evil?
good, but they are successful.
Do you remember the
That's what
scene
I
where they
meant,
get
yeah.
locked in that room and
The lasers?
yeah, and the
It's
lasers
a-
chop the head off?
Had nothing to do with the video game
At all. At
Like
all.
that
At
was never
fucking all.
in the game.
They didn't even want to even implement that into any new video games. Like that's how dumb it was. They're not gonna do that. It was so silly.
What's the name of that
Or did
actress,
they?
by
Did
the
they
way?
actually? Mila
Jovovich.
Jovovich.
Did they actually introduce lasers?
No, I
Oh.
don't think
Okay.
so. But
And they never once used ink to save their game.
Oh Jesus!
I want
God.
to say that there was something recently that came out based on a video game that was really good. Jeez, what was that?
Loosely based on a video game, or did it have the same title as the video game? And it was.
Shit, I can't remember.
It's not Castlevania. Is it?
Something
From Netflix.
That anime was fucking
The
badass.
anime's badass. It's fucking good.
Yeah, yeah,
It was so good.
yeah. But you're saying an actual movie?
Yeah, there was a.
I really want to see Overlord. I thought that was like
The anime
fucking
or the movie?
the movie
Oh,
Overlord.
yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of both.
I haven't
and
seen
I've
it.
Nazi
neither.
zombie
I haven't
one.
seen it
I
yet.
thought that was about Wolfenstein. I thought it was a Wolfenstein.
Oh,
Right?
Wolfenstein
movie.
3D,
It felt
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. Yeah.
It had like,
Jeez,
yeah,
what
like a
was
black
it?
lead.
Something recently came out that was based on a
Recently.
video game, and it was like this is the first movie that's ever been based on a video game that's been good.
Shooter, adventure,
I can't
racing,
remember.
flying,
That's like
driving.
saying the interview with the vampire book isn't is way better than the interview with the
Same
vampire
thing with
movie.
Dracula and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
mean,
interview with the vampire book was dope
I heard it was ridiculous
compared to the actual
movie.
movie
Yeah.
with Tom Cruise and Ben Affleck
I thought
and Kirsten Dunst and
uh,
Antonio Banderas.
I thought Warcraft could have been a good one.
Oh
but
man,
It needed some lead up in the sense that you already had Game of
Warcraft.
Thrones, you already had
StarCraft was
Lord-
my shit.
I'm tripping. I'm thinking of an adaptation from a manga or Battle Alita.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm thinking of
Alita.
Alita.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's
thinking
an
some
anime,
video
yeah.
game?
But it's it's
Okay.
based on anime. But Alita. is
Gun
sick.
M
Just
or
go
something
back.
like that, right? Gun
Well,
M.
There is a trailer.
I saw it twice. I went with Rachel to go check it out.
Did you?
It was she
Just as
loved
good,
it.
right?
She was like that movie. She's like every time I watch movies like that, it makes me want to like take a boxing class. Just,
Shh, Alita's sick.
Maybe we should go see that.
No, I want to watch Captain Marvel.
Kenny's like, cause I don't like I want to see it, but like like, I got to make time for all these movies.
Yeah.
I'll watch Alita again. I'm down.
No, I have. There's a whole bunch of shit I didn't see. I really want to see. That's now out on Redbox. So-
Yo,
what?
If
Xbox. What the fuck?
In case my internet's down and I need to.
And you need to call a technician to come fix it.
you know, he was like, what if he was like, you had to move some shit over? He's like,
I
just
know. I don't know.
slide this over.
Or how would he approach you? Hey, bruh, I need you
Can you
to
move your
can you
KY
move your
jelly.
lube real quick.
I need to.
God,
Get
can you
back
imagine
here.
if my sex toy was out in the open?
He didn't
Oh
even
my
want to touch
God.
your. He didn't even want to touch your keyboard. He was like, "Yo, can you just type these?"
Oh,
numbers
my
in?"
seat though. Holy shit. I just realized but I put some stuff in my seat. My seat is literally covered in like
What? Keenan, wait, your seat is covered in what?
spotty jizz.
This is why I don't come to your crib, Keen. I'm gonna walk in there. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna wear
Keen,
gloves.
Aren't you a
I'll be wearing
germaphobe?
gloves. Like, oh god.
Well, you know, I put
Except
it-
for this chair. This baby right here's
I'll
got
put it-
mileage on it.
That's exactly right.
I'll put a towel down for you.
Oh,
Oh,
my.
jeez.
I am never eating at
I'm
your
a-
place.
oh my God.
I'm gonna fucking go to your crib with a hazmat suit on. Just like, yeah.
She's like, you don't want to touch that.
I can always put the
Just-
chair outside.
I'm your
Damn.
real friend. Take my word for it.
Yo, so we did the video chat with Keenan yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
And he's just chilling, eating some food and shit on his chair. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I gotta make this frame for this mattress. He turns it around and he has like a ton of shit on his fucking bed. I'm like, yo, you sleep on that? What the fuck?
Hey,
I
don't be
clean
putting his dirty laundry out there on the air.
No, I imagine he just put everything on his bed. 'cause
I
he had
do.
to move shit around.
It's all my place is because I don't have a studio to work in. I don't have all my stuff is literally in my living space.
Right.
So I got to work some now for that. But
Yeah, I told you about downtown. There was like,
ooh, it's getting better though. Sorry, I put up The frame was up and everything.
Well, that's why you built the bed thing, so you had more.
Yeah. Well, see, here's another thing. I was told by several people that if I really want to get women, I'm supposed to have a queen size bed. And I'm like,
yeah,
I've met plenty of people who don't have.
The bigger the bed, the more comfortable. Fuck you. The bigger the bed, the better chances you have of being comfortable. That's for sure.
Okay, but
it's not that I don't think women base anything off of that.
I spoke to again based on observation who I talked to.
But more comfort is always preferred by any human. That's just rational.
Okay.
You goddamn right.
I mean, Joe's gonna develop
the
the most
man. I'll tell you that right
ergonomic seat.
If I'm not comfortable somewhere, I'm just not
he'll
fucking
let you
with
know.
it, man.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Have you seen those things you could buy at Target where they're like a half couch? There's just like a pillow with arms on it.
yeah.
That's what I want, and it folds down to a bed.
Wait, what?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, there's that one.
There's that.
Yeah, it's a couch that folds down to
Yeah,
a bed,
that's
but
true.
it's like a big memory foam thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, are most of the general things that people tell me I should have to attract women to my place, I should actually get?
So like building the perfect nest kind of situation that everybody's like telling you, like you got to dress a certain way.
Yeah,
you
to
gotta
dress
act
a certain way, act a way, smell a certain way.
Here are my thoughts on it.
Obi-Wan.
Here are my thoughts on it, and this is just preliminary, like in the moment thoughts, not something I've given much thought to. Okay. What I will say is this: is there are always signals that inform someone of your successful, of your success in life in general, in terms of just leading a successful, fulfilling life, such as if you take the time to organize certain things, or if you take the time, any effort that you put into something reflects upon your character of the effort you put on a lot of things. Now, there are some people who are like creative geniuses and create things, but then they're total disasters everywhere else. That is true. And again, that's the exception to the rule. And most people always assume they're the exception, right? But for all things concerned and all things considered, it's safe to say that the more signals you can put out of the effort you're putting into your own life would likely signal the kind of effort you would put into other things that are important to you. And that's important to people because when someone wants to be important to you or is considering whether they could be important to you, they look at how other things that are important to you are treated and managed. And if those, it's not necessarily to say that it's true, but it improves the odds of a better decision because we can't read each other's minds. And so we're often reviewing body language signals and any other signals you throw out there, such as good sense or a nice fancy car, or anything that's signaling something. And that's really what it all comes down to. So if you're well groomed, you know, if you smell nice,
strike two for me.
any organization and cleanliness, whatever the case is, no one's like perfect. Obviously, no one's expecting someone to be like, wow. There are some people who try to be perfect and it kills them, and that looks crazy. But for all things and all purposes for this conversation, it's safe to say that the more signals you can put out and the clearer you can put those signals out, the higher the chances of people feeling welcome in your home and of people being interested in wanting to be around your home more, which may lead to a relationship, but not necessarily the point.
Okay.
That's just me off the top of the dome, just trying to.
That's good. I mean, I'm a student. I'm here to learn.
No, you're here to observe.
I'm here to observe.
We don't teach. We just speak. That's why we brought you on the show, so we can actually have someone to speak to.
That's why
we were getting tired of just listening to each other.
Oh God! Thanks for cheering me up, Joe.
I'm fucking with you.
And besides, our egos are so big. How could you ever imagine we get tired of listening to each other?
I know.
Oh God!
I can't even fit my ego in my pants.
Yo,
It's so big.
Are we hitting? Do we have to hit all these?
No, I'm just saying we should hit as much as we can, man. Let's get some stuff. Let's get it out there. Let's.
I mean,
people have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, I think both of these correlate with each other. I think they both correlate. Yeah.
And
okay.
Joe noticed
and
that
this is actually something that I've spoken to.
Yeah.
Like I've spoken on before, not on the cast, but it's definitely something an observation I've made in the past, and I'm glad that Keenan can agree with me now.
I do.
But you know you're in the hood if there are an equal amount of churches and liquor stores as you're driving down a main road,
Yeah.
or main street.
Yeah. And you notice them too. It's like me and Joe were driving literally for only 3-4 miles,
Yeah,
at least minimum.
and we counted like the same amount,
22 something churches.
We went from the 60s to the 130s.
Yep.
And there had to have been like 17, between 17 and 25
liquor
stores and churches equally.
And then there's always an AutoZone, a check cashing place, because people don't have a real bank.
These are foundations.
Of a poor neighborhood.
Of a poor neighborhood.
Because the affluent, they just take their car back to the dealer.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They don't need auto parts. They're not going to fix that shit themselves.
Where do you see an AutoZone in Beverly Hills or Pacific Palisades?
I can't remember a time when I saw
there isn't even a Home Depot.
No.
Yeah. Dude, there isn't.
No.
There isn't.
It's trippy.
You have to go, let's see.
To the hood.
Or
Santa Monica.
If you're, exactly.
Or a 7-Eleven.
I think if you live in Beverly Hills, you're going to go to the Home Depot, either in... Shit, I don't even know where
Yo, they're missing out because, you know, you can get your check cash, get some tacos, go to 7-Eleven, get some drinks.
White people just don't know how to live, man. Or do they?
Yeah.
Hey, what does white people have to do with being rich?
Which leads me to this. I don't know. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but have I spoken about this, about the awesome people doing things?
Awesome people doing things?
Awesome people doing things on IG?
No,
we should be a part of something.
So
like that.
there's
I'm awesome. How come I've never heard of this?
There's an IG account called Awesome People Doing Things.
Okay.
And I follow it, and as you know, through time, as me following it and just me making an observation, I've noticed that 90% of the people on Awesome People Doing Things are white.
Oh,
and
what?
Yeah. Like 90% of the people on that, and it led me, and it's not because of the
owners or
of the people who run the account or anything. Yeah. It just leads me to the observation that white people just have that much more time to do a lot more creative things. Like they have the luxury to
take over
skydive.
Countries.
They have the luxury. No, they have the luxury to skydive. They have the luxury to fucking
take a trip to Joshua Tree.
Yeah, they have that luxury to do like crazy.
Go to Burning Man every year.
Bullshit. Yeah,
Coachella, all that stuff.
And it's just like, damn, like it just puts things into perspective. Like I guess we're not awesome enough because we're always fucking working.
To be able to pay.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and it's that's a very subtle thing that white people.
I'm gonna pull it up, and anybody who listens to the show or watches it, yeah, take a minute to just go to the Awesome People Doing Things. Which and actually they did another thing yesterday, which was Friday. I'm sorry, Friday, which was kind of suspect to me. The account itself, their Friday was International Women's Day.
Okay,
right now they put a post, and I think that they just fucked up. Like it was a mistake. It was an honest mistake. But they posted a video, and on their caption it said, "Anything you can do, I can do better." But
oh no,
what they did is the video. It would show a woman doing something, and then it would show a man doing something. Oh, no. And it was just like, wait, are you guys saying that anything a woman can do, a man can do better? And it's funny because if you look at the comments on Facebook, because I follow them on Facebook,
you took it the wrong way, didn't
and IG, it's like it was. I mean, that was my interpretation of it as well. Okay. And it's just like, yo, you guys have to. You have to think about it.
Everyone's like, who approved this piece of content?
Okay. I was like, yo, I'm confused. Are you guys saying that anything a woman can do?
It starts off all badass, like a scene of like some athletic performance.
Dude, I gotta pull this shit up because it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I saw it. I wouldn't be surprised if they deleted it. Hold on. Awesome People Doing Things.
But it's good to know that you notice, or hopefully they notice.
It's totally awesome. What is it? No,
wait,
my God is an awesome God. How does it go?
Where is that? South Park?
No, it's
my God is an awesome God.
It's like a real song
from a play or a movie.
You remember those commercials to be like, by greatest rock hits now. And then it would show you like, I would do it. And then it would go, and I. It would show you all
They fixed
it would
it.
show you all those things.
Yeah.
There was one of those infomercials where it
That
was
is
like a group
hilarious.
of people at church and they were
My
singing,
God.
My God is an awesome God.
Oh, okay.
So
They
okay.
corrected it, didn't they?
They did. They
Yeah.
they did a new post. Now the new one says, "We believe everyone is awesome," but sometimes a little friendly competition can be fun. So it shows like women doing some badass shit,
Yeah.
and then it shows a man doing it.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that was hilarious. But the original caption said, "Anything you can do, I can do better." So, anyways, I'm showing the video, guys. So if you get a chance, just go to Awesome People Doing Things on IG or on Facebook, and
How'd you come across it? Like we just like, do you work? Like, what are you doing?
Of course,
to find these people.
No, it's just shit that I follow.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just be on IG. And
You have to
blah.
consider the fact that Joe has actively said he's an avid consumer of anything.
Yes, that's
I
right. He
am.
did
And
say
so, he takes long shits.
that. He does.
He has at least an hour-long bathroom deposit that he makes every day. And so
Foster
in that
freeze.
time, he might be surfing the internet.
Mm.
Fuck you guys. I do take long shits.
Yeah.
But it's not because you don't have enough fiber or anything, right?
No, of
he's
course
well.
not, man.
Yeah,
You know there are
I
fiber
just-
pills for
I'm
that.
gonna tell you
right?
guys something right now.
your shit's regular.
Sometimes he
My
just
shit's
sometimes he
regular.
just lets it sit there.
I'm telling you right now, it's my me time, guys. No kids, no work, no, don't have to deal with
Damn.
anything. I just
It's like the
sit
movie
there,
This Is
Hey,
40,
boo
dude.
boo. Oh.
I just enjoy
When
it.
like
I
when
just
like
bask in it.
we should rewatch that movie just to see because Judd, I read the script before
Mm.
both The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind
Yeah, that's not
and This Is 40. I had read the scripts before I saw the movies.
okay.
Because I used to be at Barnes and Noble like a
Mm.
dumbass, and so while I was interested in acting, I was like, "What does an actual script look like?" So I'm looking at these scripts and I'm taking notes, and I'm like imagining what other actors would have written down here, and then I go and watch the movies. And I'm like, "Oh shit, it's way different." But Judd Apatow had in his intro the reason why I wrote This Is 40 is because I had reached a stage in my life that I didn't understand, and like any art that I've ever done, I create the art to help me understand what this means right now.
Mm.
And so that's why I had to name this movie This Is 40, because this is what I think being 40 years old means.
Oh, okay.
And like there's scenes of the mom in the bathroom smoking a cigarette with the window half open. She's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the dad is like, he's
Jerking
like,
it.
he's like ingesting Viagra pills because he knows they're about to have an anniversary and he's trying to like have
Oh.
a hard dick just for her. And then like while they're doing, he's like, oh, let me take another Viagra. She's like, wait, you
Another
took
one?
Viagra to have sex with me on your anniversary? And he's like, wait, I thought it would be for you. And it's like a problem all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
It was
for us.
Yeah.
And it turns into the problem of the morning and before they go and get the kids and they're making breakfast.
Mm.
And then later in the movie, he finds out that he was going to watch Spider-Man at the movie theater by himself. And she's like, you went to see Spider-Man in the theater by yourself? It's like, yeah, I just needed time away from you and the kids. And she's like, what about me? What about if I need time away from the kids?
Isn't
and
that
you?"
from Knocked Up though?
No,
I thought that was
that's
the
This
scene
Is
from
40.
Knocked Up.
Well, the same writer, right?
Yeah.
So
But that is a scene in Knocked Up.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm
he
positive.
probably reused this material.
Maybe he took that from
Possibly.
from
The script and put it
ex-
into, yeah.
Yeah, and
This Is 40
expanded on
script,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
that is a scene because they go together.
Oh, to pick her up
yeah,
from the club or whatever, right?
No,
Or-
no. They go because she thinks that he's cheating on her. Turns out that
He was just going to
that
the
he
movie
was going
theaters.
no that he was going to do his fantasy
Football league.
thing.
That's right.
Wow.
And then when they have an argument outside, she's like, so what else have you been lying to me about? And he's like, well, when I went to go see Spider-Man. She's like, oh, you went to go see Spider-Man without me? He's like,
Ah,
well,
okay.
I wanted to go.
That's
by
true.
myself."
Okay.
That's
She's like,
true.
I wanted to go see Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that happens in October.
That shit is hilarious to me, though. like,
Hey, but you know what? Like, it's
real.
You're
It's
in
real,
bliss,
dude.
blissful moment.
No,
No,
it's
it's
like
real.
it's like the movie by Stanley Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut.
Mm.
When the super suave dude at the party, have you ever seen it? He comes up to
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman and he's like, "Isn't it funny the thing about marriage?" She's like, "Yes." Is that it makes deception a necessity for both parties. And then it cuts the scene to where Tom Cruise's character is out with two like model chicks or whatever, and she's like, "Yeah, What do you mean by that? And then it's like, and he's out there like flirting, and they're getting closer, and he's all scheming, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just funny to me that wow, that
Really?
how prevalent it is that people will grow so tired of each other, and instead of like because it might be extra sensitive, like it's like really not black and white,
It's
so
tough.
you can't.
It isn't black and white, dude.
Mm.
It isn't black and white.
Yeah, unless you're single.
I mean,
Like me.
yeah.
And then it's
You're
really
all-
clear
But
what
then
needs to
do you-
be
how,
done.
how often do you deceive yourself?
Every day.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose. I don't want this life.
Yeah, so
I don't
exactly.
believe that
Wait,
anybody
so
feels the way I do.
Do you sit on the toilet long enough where like your circulation gets cut off on your legs and you can't quite get up out of your seat?
Don't fucking tell me about what the fuck I do.
He said, "Don't ask me about
I'm
what
just-
I
I'm
do
just
is what I do."
asking.
Like I just told you that's my private time.
Because that happens to me.
You're
all
not
the
privy
time.
to that information.
I just want to
fucker.
know if I just want to know if I'm alone. I thought I was all alone that matter. Does it happen to you as
It
well?
only happens to my balls when I'm sitting down. So
You
the
sit on your
circulation
balls?
gets cut off. I've got
Are your balls that
elephantitis
big?
in the
Nah,
balls.
the blood in my
That's
legs.
what the toilet bowl water's for, to cool your balls off because it's so huge.
I just thought that was a feature of the toilets.
I just thought that. I'm really considering getting a bidet. I've been thinking about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Joe's like,
I've been thinking about getting a bidet. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
So
For
you
sure.
take even longer.
sometimes.
No,
Hey,
I just-
what did George Carlin say in Jay Silent Bob?
sometimes it just
If it gets me down a couple miles down the road, sure, I'll take a shot in the mouth.
I'm seriously considering getting a bidet. So
Now
We'll
was
see.
that
I'll keep you guys updated about that.
was that truly like a I'm assuming that pronunciation, that's a French thing, but I thought that was developed in Japan
I don't know.
first. No.
Someone was like,
I wouldn't be surprised if
someone was like, I don't want my. They probably because there was probably shitty toilet paper back in that day.
maybe there wasn't
And the
toilet
fingers
paper
kept,
at all.
yeah.
Toilet
And they were
paper
like,
at
"What am I gonna wipe my hands with?" Which is probably what people used to fucking do.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Think about like
Or the leaves from trees, and then
18th
like
century, 17th.
And they wait, so that you're talking about how the development of the bidet was made?
whoever
Yeah.
invented
I
toilet
wouldn't be
paper.
surprised.
Thank you, but at the same time,
Yo, you know what?
It's
stop
ruining
fucking
the
around. I'm gonna look
environment.
that shit up. Bidet.
I think
Well-
about it often, man.
Well,
like,
what would we use if
I know,
but see,
I
because
know.
using a bidet wastes water.
dude,
And the energy to take to pump that water through your toilet to just clean your ass is also probably just as dangerous as making toilet paper.
I see what you're saying.
We anything and everything we do as humans is fucking up this planet regardless,
One
no
way or
matter how
another.
nice it is.
Right.
Yeah, solar panels, still using machines to build them.
And it's
They
like
take up
toxic waste
space.
and shit.
They're not made out of organic shit unless somebody makes an organic solar panel. Now, hey, that's something.
Right.
But you still need machines to create that organic material or
And that
factory,
takes
ship it.
fuel, that takes all
Yeah,
kinds of shit.
shipping
It's
and
not just
handling.
electricity, right?
Yeah.
It is an invention. It's an invention of the French.
French.
In the late 17th century. Yeah. So,
17. It's been around since that long.
Yeah.
Damn.
People have been squirting water up their ass after taking a shit since the 17th century.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you right now. If
God
you never
damn.
used a bidet,
It feels good.
it feels
Wait, when you
fucking
first
joyous.
when you first felt it,
What was it like when it first broke through your anus?
That's the thing though. It doesn't break through your anus.
It just gently
lightly
caresses.
splashes it. You know.
wait,
And I'm
isn't that
telling you
the
right
spl-
now, men's G spot. You
isn't
know
that
where
the
it's at.
splashback if your shits are too heavy? Isn't that kind of like the same thing? And the water
No,
comes
because
back
you
up?
control the pressure of it.
Oh, okay.
You control the pressure
not
of the
just a
bidet, so you
full-on
could be like,
splat.
just it's like what is it? What is it? What is it? What was that deodorant? That deodorant like strong enough for man, strong
Oh,
enough for a man, but made
Dove?
for women. Yeah.
Dove? Yeah.
It's,
You know what
it's
I
a
mean? Like,
woman's
the-
deodorant.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wait,
That's great. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna
Yay.
go into our soapbox talk.
Oh,
Soapbox talk for the week. Keenan, do you have
Soapbox
anything? Anything?
I
in
always
soapbox
have
talk?
something.
You always
I
have.
have,
fucking
I
soapbox
have
talk.
everything. My life is just a walking soapbox talk.
Talk about it, King.
My talk is the last and final thing that happened at the club last night is these cock blocking assholes, two big burly black dudes who thought they were the shit. Start dancing with my woman. No, it wasn't my woman, but
Whoop the whoop.
I would, and moved to, and moved to, but I was vibing with this girl, and she definitely was into me. And then these guys come along, And at first I thought they were friends. I thought they were hanging out, and of course that's probably the same get up or thing that I feel like I look like. When, oh, he must be their friend or something like that. So I really thought they were part of the group. And then when I found out that when I came back and danced in the club, and he was next to me, he asked me, "Hey, is this girl that you're dancing with single?" And I was like, "Oh shoot! So you're not part of the group at all. You have no idea who this person is. So why the fuck you dance with? Didn't you see me dance with this person? Fucking asshole." So my soapbox talk is that I hate these people out here who prevent two other people who are connecting to have some fun just because you want to get in and either take some of that thunder, or the main end goal is fucking or something like that. Same thing for women who cock block men. Same thing for guys who cock block other guys. I don't even know if guys cock block girls. Maybe that's the thing I should think about. But maybe that is a thing. But just any cock blockers in general, regardless of gender or race or whatever you are, go to hell. You die, go to hell. And I hate you. I hate you with passion. So
With the passion.
I know my voice breaks at the end. You ruined my chance. I could have
had
got
a
laid.
special one. God damn.
That was by accident, I swear.
God damn.
So catch you on the flip side.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
So that's
Since I was 16.
Motherfucking cock blockers. Stop cock blocking.
Oh man.
And Keenan, with that, stop cock blocking yourself.
Oh fuck.
Hey, we're not supposed to comment on the soapbox.
Yeah, his soapbox talk was over.
Yeah, it is.
I'm segueing into your soapbox talk.
He needs to let it out, Billy. No, that's true. Truthfulness. I probably do compliment myself.
I would always believe this, but I think I'm not sure if I've spoke on it enough. We all signal to people what we support, what we believe in, by where we spend our dollars, where we spend our time, and where we spend our attention, right? If we're out there looking for something, like you can't get apples from oranges and you can't get oranges from apples, and yes, they're both fruit. So realize the type of fruit that you want, because even though they're both fruit, they're different types, right? And if you're hanging out, if you're hanging around people who don't inspire you, then, and you want to be inspired and you want to be pumped up, then you have to do yourself a favor, hard as it may be, long as you've known these people, to change your company. It's your responsibility and no one else's to go after what it is you want for your life. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. In fact, it may be the hardest thing you've ever done. But if it's really what you want, there's no other way to get it than to go after it, whatever it is you want in life. I'm not saying blind action is necessary, because a hammer being thrown around doesn't get anything done. But if you know the nail you're after and you've got the right swing, and you know what you're building with that nail and hammer, then you've got it made. But you've got to have the hammer. You've got to have the measure tape, the ruler. You got to have tools. You got to calculate it and then throw your swing. But you do have to throw that swing.
Fantastic.
Good talk. Let's hear it, Joe. Hit us hard.
My soapbox talk
Right, chest.
Say it with
is actually I'm flipping a little bit this time, guys, this week. I'm actually going to do a shout out.
What?
Yeah, it's a shout out. This is a shout out. This shout out is for shout out to my newly joined TSG squad. But no, let me finish that. So yesterday I went and signed up to be part of the LAFC TSG, which I spoke about, very briefly at the beginning of the episode. What I failed to mention was that, let me give you a little backstory here. About a month ago, or a little more than a month, we had a situation with this, the situation with the hotel and
Oh yeah.
okay, so uh I had helped this dude, shit went sour, you know, a lot of bullshit happened, and and there was a situation at a hotel where I had helped somebody stay at. Now the front desk dude, he really helped us out. Looked out, made sure that it wasn't going to be as bad as it could have been. So
Because there was hotel damage.
yeah, because there was definitely hotel damage. So he helped out, and yesterday when I went to sign up, the dude is in the squad.
Are you serious?
The dude isn't not the dude that fucked up, but the front desk dude that helped me out
That's dope.
is in the fucking squad.
That's good.
So I
That's
signed
wild.
up. I said his name is Josh. Shout
We
out
knew
to
he
Josh,
was
man.
cool.
He was cool as shit.
Okay.
Yo, and here's the thing. Like I saw him and I was like, that guy looks familiar, but I didn't really think about it. So I was hanging out with Sean, and the dude comes up. He's like, "Hey man, I know you. Where do I know you from?" I was like, "I don't know, bro. Like, you kind of look familiar. What's up?" And he's like, "You're the dude with the guy at the hotel." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "That's where I know you from." I'm like, "Holy shit!" And I told the whole squad the story. I told them the whole story, and everybody's like, "Damn, small fucking world. This guy is part of the squad now." Like, and matter of fact, I can't show the viewers, but the dude, this guy's the dude. Hold on. Let me find this damn shot. TSG, where you at? So this guy that helped me out at the hotel so that the shit wouldn't go sour and be too bad, he's part of the squad and he's part of the camp. So it was just crazy. It's crazy the way the shit worked out, the way that he recognized me. He's like, "Yo, I know you." I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe you're familiar, but it could be.
And they had a lobby at that hotel that has a piano, and I spoke to them about actually introducing them to you. So
did you?
Yeah. So we may need to make that introduction because they have a bar that's just sitting in the
Yo,
lobby.
yeah. Now the dude, now the front desk guy that runs the night shift, he's a part of my squad.
So we
he's
could
the homie
potentially
now.
put a show together.
So
there,
now
like
there's
open mic,
more incentive.
some jazzy stuff.
Yeah, there's more incentive for for him to want to fuck with us.
We just find a piano player, get some jazz singers together.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. I'm trying to find this thing. So yeah, shout out to Josh, man, for being a good person. Just all around.
We'll have to get
He
his
helped me out.
Shout out to him. He was cool.
He helped
Shout
me
out
out
to
in a
all of
time.
the
Like
LAFC.
he's the one who gave us the pointers. I mean yes, but no, but this specifically for Josh because he did look out for me. Like
okay.
the shit could have gone a lot worse, and the fact that he was just like, "Yo, just don't say this, don't mention this." He was like, "I'll make this seem a little better."
So you guys are like best friends now?
No, I just thought.
part of the podcast.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I just
He
thought it was
cool.
dope. Look there, that's him right there.
Oh yeah.
see? That's the dude right there. And I, he was just really cool about the situation when I went and took him up to the room, and I was like, "Look, man, this is what happened. This is
It
what
was a
I've
pretty
done."
shitty situation, and he was a
It
cool
was
person.
incredibly shitty.
Mhm.
And he was just cool enough to be like, "Look, this is what you want to do. Don't do this. I won't talk about that. Don't even mention that. If they mention it, well, you got to do it." But he's like, "I'll make it look better."
He's like, matter of fact, we didn't even have this conversation.
Exactly.
What?
So then when I saw him yesterday, when he spotted me and he was like, "Yo, I know you," and I was like, "What?" And then he said that, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Nice.
That was just fucking great. So
It's a
shout out
small world.
to Josh. I think his name is Josh. I'm pretty
Ugh.
sure it's Josh.
All right. Shout out, John.
Either way,
You're one of the
I fuck with
homies.
him. He was dope. And now- That's it. Ladies and gents, thank you very much. This has been episode 18 of the None of Our Business podcast. We're your hosts, Joe, Philly, Keenan. We love ya. Yeah. Toast.
I was gonna say, I want your toast. I
Yeah.
want your toast.
Yeah.
I want your toast.
Toast.
I gotta do this right.
I want your toast, girl. I made some motherfucking toast. Hey, 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 yeah. You got your bread and your butter. You got a butter knife, no other type of cutlery can get in between that smooth spread that you're looking for. Yada the mean toast.
I want your toast. Yeah. Yeah, I really want it. No jelly. No strawberry jelly. Give me that butter, baby toast. I want that toast.
Kenan's like, you're not gonna get me to fucking sing. I'm telling you.
Oh,
right
were you
now.
trying to come this
We're
way?
trying to fuck you. Love you guys.
Eat your woman out.
Suck your man's dick. Love you. Bye.